What is up, everybody? Welcome into tonight's broadcast for the first round of the 2016 FAMmx Fall Cup series, a three-round off-season Supercross series ran by RaceFactorGaming.com, live here on Start Your Systems. My name is Kellen Brauer, and I hope you guys are with us for that pre-race stream because it was off the chains, bro. And we are going to have an even better night of racing in hand for you guys all watching the stream tonight, and of course anybody watching back on the YouTube playback whenever it is that you may be watching. So hello from the past. Hope the future is looking bright as daisies. We will be getting UID grab underway here at the Sand Lot, which is the opening round here, this track below us. As you can tell, it is still daylight out at this track, but we'll be switching it over to nighttime. A lot of people are entering the stadium right now, and we'll have a full stadium jam-packed of virtual fans full in attendance tonight for this awesome race. Lots of different storylines to follow from tonight. If you have been following along with our SX Madness series, this is a lot different format. This has been open qualifying up until about an hour before right now, where these guys had a chance. Is it okay? So hold on, just we're in chats, people saying that we're going offline a little bit. If you guys are having any issues, please let me know and I'll try to get it fixed as soon as I can. On my end, we are all good. But back to the format thing, everybody had a chance to qualify in an open format from the time the track was released on Sunday evening, late Sunday evening for that matter, so anybody that was on the East Coast might have already been asleep, all the way through until an hour before where I am right now. And there's three different classes that will be ran tonight. We have the Open Amateur Division, the Prince of SX Division, which is the 250F more or less pro class, and the King of SX, which is the 450 class, which we'll see a lot of the heavy hitters in tonight, and hopefully where we'll see the best action. But of course, all the classes are going to have fantastic action. And in just a few moments, about 3 minutes from now, we will get Open Amateur Heat number 1 underway. That starts at about 6:05 local time for me, 8:05 Central Time, where this is ran through, and 9:05 Eastern. And then from there, we're going to go all the way through. We have 2 Open Amateur Heats where it looks like the top 9 will advance to the main from those. It's a 5-lap heat. And then from there, they will eventually, if they don't make it through that, go to the last chance qualifier, which is 4 laps. 4 riders advance to the main, and that main event will be 20 laps. After that, we will run 2 Prince of SX heats, which is again the 250 Pro / Amateur division. We'll see some pros in there, most of which have an A license. And again, top 40 qualifiers advance to the race, and through those 2 heats, only 9 transfer to the main event. It's a 6-lap race, and any runner that does not make it through those heat races will have to go to the last chance qualifier, which, like the Open Amateur Division, runs 4 laps, with the top 4 riders advancing to the main event. Main event will run 15 laps. After the 2 Prince of SX heats, we'll have 2 King of SX heats, so we'll be almost an hour into the program tonight before we are done with heat racing. And the King of SX heats, top 40 qualify into both of those 2 heat races. They will go for 6 laps with the top 9 transferring to the main event. All other runners go to the last chance qualifier, again 4 laps, and 4 riders advance to the main to make up a 22-rider, 20-lap main event to round out our program tonight. After the heats are done, the 3 LCQs will run, and then the 3 main events will run after that. We should be with you guys live on the air for roughly about 2.5 to 3 hours tonight, and you will be watching me streaming the whole time. We might have some guest appearances from a few people coming in, but otherwise I'm here for the long haul. And we're going to have a bang-up time tonight, as Blake Scheinman has just grabbed UID's event host, along with Michael Wheeler also in-house tonight, it looks like, helping out. So that's good. We usually don't have Wheels on hand for all the events these days, but if Wheels is around, it usually means things run a little bit smoother. But Blake has hosted this series a few times before. The FAMmx Fall Cup is in its 4th annual iteration this time around, started way back in 2013. And he's ran various schedules. This is actually the shortest schedule he's ever ran before with the 3-race format, but coming out a little bit later this year, I've actually had a chance to sample some of the other tracks that he is going to put out, and you guys are going to be super stoked about the upcoming tracks that we have after this one at the Sand Lot, the baseball stadium inside. And it's going to be a good race tonight. As soon as we get that heat racing action underway, we will start going through the riders' names and list of riders who are on hand tonight. No warm-up laps except for the main events usually. And yeah, gonna be a good night of racing. Looks like we have got Michael Wheeler trying to give us a little preview of the track, so might as well take a look at him while he's going around. And also want to check in chat that you guys can hear me and hear what's going on the screen as well. Hear Wheels' bike and everything perfectly fine. Want to make sure that we have the system sounds all in check and set to go for tonight. As Wheels is floundering around, but this track is super fun. Hopefully you guys have had a chance to play it. I'll go ahead and spin a few laps while we're waiting for the open ham heats. The open ham heats. Yeah, the amateur class tonight, they're sponsored by Ham apparently. The open ham heats. Oh, didn't even think that that was a possible line right there. You'll have to apologize for my rustiness. As you can see, full house in attendance tonight. Baseball stadium is packed with people. Virtually, of course, they're just going to be sitting there going, "Wah!" I'm just kidding. They don't make any noise because JLV does not have that programmed into the game yet. Or probably never will. Rusty as an old nail from the 1970s right now. Old nail, old car, something like that. If you have not had a chance to play this track yet, by the way, I would definitely recommend doing so. You can head to the forums right now, and under tracks, this track is also available. But also, if you're a fan of our YouTube channel and you know how to get to our YouTube channel quicker than the forums, you can go to our video that we released on Monday, where I did a virtual lap on this track, and you can see for yourself a little bit more what this track looks like. And you can also download the track there. We have the track download there. But most importantly, we want to remind everybody to be sure to hit up FAMmx.com. Great graphics company doing quality work. They did my bike, which you guys obviously saw in the pre-race stream. Did a killer set on that, and Blake again coming through with the killer series. 3 rounds of awesome Supercross action for us, just in the time that we need it the most, when we're just dying for the Supercross season to start, and it hasn't started just yet. Jump past Wheels here, and immediately crash. Showing you a way around the track, apparently, doing a little tandem racing with Wheels here. Oh no, the stream's crashing, but why? Why, I ask, why? And there it goes. So if you're watching this back on YouTube, the stream just crashed, and in any second now we'll hear a bunch of people go, yep, here we go. In the chat it is going, let's see what they have to say. Offline rip, offline, new, rip. How many people we got watching this stream here tonight? It is still trying to reconnect right now. We had 33 people watching, and currently my internet has just crashed. Not too sure what is going on right now. We're coming back. It's trying to come back at least. Lots of frame drops going on right now. And it looks like it's going to crash again. Sweet. Love my internet. Internet's awesome. Any second the stream wants to correct itself would be just lovely. Looks like the racing action hasn't started yet though, so fortunately you guys aren't missing anything. Hey, there we go. It's coming back. It always comes back. Why wouldn't it? They wouldn't have anything to sell us, this shitty cable provider, if it didn't come back at some point, you know? If it just went off the air forever, then the company would go out of business and I could actually switch to a different provider. It'd be great. But it always comes back, just so they can keep swindling the money. We're still waiting for things to get kicked off here anyway, though, so don't worry about that, folks. My internet will eventually come down long enough that you guys can see stuff going on. And again, anybody watching on the stream, I always hate to say this because I love a live audience, but anything that you're missing while we are going off air for the internet issues, you're not missing a single thing if you watch it back on YouTube the next day, as we upload the entire stream, even my awesome offline experiences, right to our YouTube channel within less than 12 hours of a race event happening. It's just incredible. It's lovely. Who would have thought we'd be so nice to do this for you? But, as I said, we're still waiting for that first open amateur heat to get underway. It should get underway any second now, and I will be able to stop riding this track. I love this track, but it's a little less entertaining to watch me play it than all of the other top-notch riders we're going to have on the gate tonight. From the inside, oh man, I was going to send it. Oh gosh. Call it a commercial break. Yeah, there you go. I could call it a commercial break if we were allowed to play commercials when I was offline. This is what I miss about the old livestream.com days. I don't know if anybody remembers when we started streaming MX Simulator stuff back in 2012. They used to do streams on a website called livestream.com, and when your computer would crash or whatever, it would just start airing commercials automatically for you. But Twitch hasn't figured out the glorious implications of doing that themselves, as we're underway for the AM racing tonight. And it looks like here in heat number 1, it is Taylor Davis on his Monster Energy KTM dynoed Yamaha, who got the early lead, but somebody just went off the track for a mile. Cliff Robinson on the MotoPro Graphics, I hope, Yamaha, and he is now out front. Lee Bradley sits in the 3 ride with Kyle Scott and Alan Brooks giving chase. Remember, the top 9 will transfer out of this one into the main event, so as long as these guys just stay on their tippy toes, they'll be able to make it into the main event from here. So anybody that might be like, where's all the skins, brah? Well, I did do a skins thread for this series, but I also made mention that if I already have your skins from the SX Madness series, then you don't need to repost your skins. Everything that you guys posted in the SX Madness series, I have, and everything you guys posted in the FAMmx Fall Cup thread, I also have. So if you don't have your skins being seen on screen, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to go find everybody's skins. You got to post it in the skins thread. Meanwhile, there's a lot of chaos that just happened before the end of that first lap, and now Robert Pink on the 147 finds himself out front of Tim Althouse. Kevin Gonzalez sits in the 3 ride right now, and all 3 of these guys have pulled away from the rest of the field for the most part. What's nice about this class, as opposed to the just amateur classes that we see outdoors, is that these are wide open classes, as here goes my internet again. Of course it would. It's trying to come back, but it's also trying to fail. Anyway, these are wide open classes, so the leader right now is on a 450. Second place also on a 450, but Kevin Gonzalez, who just went off the track back here, he is on a 250F. He's about to be passed by the 74 machine of Cliff Robinson, who's also on a 450, but he's going to go down. So 450, 450, 250, and also 2 250s in the mix. 3 250s in the mix right there. And they're also going in and out of the camera there. My internet probably is about to tell me that it crashed again in just a second. We'll hear a little bling because it's trying to stop the stream. There it goes. There's my... Oh, and I'm out of TeamSpeak too. It's just solid.
Connected.
High quality internet. Pay good money to get just bent over every week by Cox Communications. So, until they get their stuff figured out, I can just talk crap about them all I want, because you know what? They're a pretty bad cable provider. Meanwhile, back to the racing action. Still Robert Pink leading Tim Althouse and Kevin Gonzalez, and Alan Brooks just got absolutely saucy on the triple in 4th right there. Lee Bradley holds down the 5 spot. Cliff Robinsine's gone back to the 6th spot with Kevin Davis trying to track him down. Jeremy Atkinson sits in the 8th spot now with Jason Felke from BGFX running in 9th. He's trying to hang on with Adrian Wilson closing in. That is a battle for the last transfer spot on your screen. Kyle Scott not too far behind either. Saw Kyle Scott do very well last time we saw him in the amateur division at Daytona on open night last week. And right now he is outside of transfer, but he's trying to get up to Felke, who is having a little issue of his own right there. Almost went over the bars entering the rhythm. We'll see how these guys are handling these sections first tonight, as opposed to what we have been seeing in the SX Madness series, which is the pros go out on track and then the AMs follow them up. But Felke's trying to get to the inside of Atkinson, and he holds up as that is Robinzine off the track on the 74, and Atkinson gets away clean. And he's trying to go after Lee Bradley. This is all just stacked up right now with Felke still holding down the final transfer spot. 4 riders in the air over the finish line, and Robinzine goes off the track, so Robinzine back to the final transfer spot right now, and he's got to be careful as Kyle Scott has moved into the 10 spot and is trying to close in. Yes, we are, folks. We are back from that awesome commercial break that we just had right in the middle of a race. It reminds you of the good old days when Supercross used to be on ESPN and they'd cut it halfway through the main event to go to a commercial break. It's solid. Or maybe perhaps NBC Sports with their outdoor coverage these days when there's a commercial every other lap. Jason Felke hits the deck, and he's going to lose that last transfer spot that he did have as Kyle Scott's trying to get through, but he's stuck on the wall, and they are both now over the wall, but now Schmeider and Wilson are closing in. Wilson hits the deck, but that battle for the last transfer spot is not over between Felke and Scott as Felke jumps off the track. He's trying to hang on. He's going to just low line it. Miss a few timing gates in the process, but he's still right there with Kyle Scott. Meanwhile, the leaders up front are on the last lap of the race, but we want to pay attention to this battle for the last transfer spot as Robinzine hits the deck, and he's now outside of transfer. Felke back into transfer. They're still right behind Lee Bradley. Meanwhile, up front, Robert Pink, untouched and long gone at the front of the field. Just cruising along, looking very smooth. Here comes my internet issues again. Oh, nope, it's trying to fix itself. It's trying, but it won't work. It's trying, but it won't work. Robert Pink gonna bring it down and take the victory here in open amateur heat number 1. Kevin Gonzalez all alone right now in second as Alan Brooks just went down right in front of a lapper. I'm not sure who that was, but oh, Kevin Davis comes through and just slices him onto the ground. Jeremy Atkinson also going around that lapper. Tim Althaus. I'm going to try something after this heat race so that my stream doesn't keep crapping out. Try a few things for that matter. We're watching these guys come to the line right now. Althaus is looking to pick up 6th, and he does. Felke made his way up to 7th, and he makes it through with a nice little frontsies. Schmeider is 1,000 miles over the berm as Robinzine's trying to get through. And he's still in 8th. I don't know how he kept 8th, but Kyle Scott just squeaked through on Robinzine. Will Robinzine take it down the inside? Yes, he will, and he puts them both on the ground, but Robinzine stays on 2 wheels. Schmeider's over the line, and Lee Bradley gets through. I don't know what Robinzine was doing, but Robinzine and Kyle Scott both miss out on the main event as Robinzine was trying to get that last lap, last corner pass done for the final transfer spot. But unfortunately, takes both of them out in the process, and Lee Bradley squeaks through. Nick Carvalho ends up 12th, Taylor Davis 13th. Cuts are in. Let's see, Robinzine still 10th. So Lee Bradley hangs on. Schmeider, Felke, Althaus, Atkinson, Davis, Brooks, Gonzalez, and Robert Pink go into the main out of this one. Every single other runner is going to the last chance qualifier. I'm going to exit TeamSpeak as part of the reason why I think that might help. If it still sucks, then I know that it's probably because Cox Communications is throttling our internet. which it likes to do on occasion, just when it gets to the nice peak times of night when everybody's home watching Netflix and chill. But, you know, why wouldn't they do that? They're a cable provider and they like to gyp their customers. Oh wait, other cable providers don't do that. Ha 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 ha. Let's move on to Open Amateur Heat 2, shall we? Maybe we'll have a little bit more fun in the process. See who we got in this one. JLV is going to moonwalk his way very quickly off the track. Solid moonwalk by JLV tonight. He's got the groove a-going as we are underway. And look, I chose the right guy. Blake Ashley timed the gate, and he gets a nice start. Will he hang on for the whole shot? He cuts down, and no, he will not. The 120 came in and took him out. So instead, Carson Forkum ends up with the lead. But he's got Chris Santino down the inside to take the lead away from him. They're going to go side by side over the triple. Do we have dualies in hand? Nope. Boner Air Leclerc City in this amateur division as Michael Garachi sits in third. Zach Fisher in fourth. Eric Martin fifth. Jay Jones in sixth with Dwayne Cusano, who is down in the first corner. He's up to seventh. Dale Mullins is eighth. And Ricky Williams is down in ninth. So Blake Ashley, who was down in that first corner, ends up in the final transfer spot before long. And we got some riders down up here. That's Dale Mullins and Dwayne Cusano on the ground right there. They are now both outside a transfer spot with other riders going by. We'll focus on what's going on at the front for a little bit before things settle down, as Santino has now taken the race lead away. So Santino will try to check out as Garachi just gets passed there by Jay Jones. Jay Jones riding a Verb Moto machine tonight. Not sure if he is on that team or not, but it looks like on his back he's running a different number than the 75 machine bike that he's on. So I would take a guess that he's not on that team, but could be wrong. Eric Martin, Michael Garachi, Jace Baldwin, Josh Boaz was over the berm, and Carson Forkum is going to do a little off-track excursion. Ends up back on the track after a little fall. Let's see how many spots he loses. He lost 2 spots, and only 2, as Alex Stinson now comes through, and I believe he is the final transfer spot. Nope, actually now he's up to 8th. He was the final transfer spot, so Dwayne Cusano is now in the final transfer. He's got about 7 riders in a freight train trying to come up behind him here. Carson Forkum getting dualies, going with Dale Mullins, who makes a nice little block pass right there. Good on Forkum to let him go. And now Forkum makes a mistake, almost goes over the bars, ends up getting hit from behind by Alex Cunningham, and they both end up down in the rhythm. And here's more of those riders coming through that I said were bottled up behind all these guys. And now Cunningham goes down. So it's constantly changing. Dakota Cox now down the inside of Colin Blackita. They are still both behind Dwayne Cusano, who is right here on the 120 Kawasaki. Alex Stinson's down, so Dale Mullins goes into the final transfer spot. Ricky Williams is just trying to figure out his way through. He now finds himself up into 10th, and we got Josh Boaz, who is just on the ground, so he is now back into 10th. Ricky Williams moves to the final transfer spot. Ah, the amateur class, it's so fun, isn't it? Constant changing of lines and basically skill sets. As now Ricky Williams is onto the back of Dale Mullins. 3 riders, 8th, 9th, and 10th, as Josh Boaz is trying to sneak down the inside of Ricky Williams. He's going to get that pass done. Williams botches the double out, but then him and that was Dale Mullins getting together with Josh Boaz, and Williams and Stinson split the difference to move into the final transfer spots. They're trying to go at it for 8th right now. And now there's a big old gap back to Dale Mullins. Josh Boaz just getting up. And I saw Dakota Cox on the ground with Colin Blackita getting through. Oh, and he gets put on the deck by Josh Boaz leaving the corner. Oh, we got 2 riders down. This is Dale Mullins and Ricky Williams at the end of the rhythm. So I think Boaz, yeah, he just went back into the final transfer spot. Oh, he's changing with this class, I tell you. So we see the final transfer spot and the 2 guys trying to get around him, battling it out here. Oh, and Boaz is down. Wow, and he just rolled off the track in time for Mullins to squeak through. Excuse me. We got Ricky Williams now back in 10th. Let's take a look through the field here as they're on lap 4 of 5. Eric Martin leads Michael Garachi's in second, Jay Jones in third, so Santino's dropped all the way back to fourth, and there goes my internet again. Any second now, it's going to just go blah, blah. This battle for the 2 spot looks to be good between Garachi and Jay Jones, or I'm sorry, yeah, Jay Jones. Don't want to botch everybody's names here. Let's just consider it another commercial break, shall we? Internet goes down. What else is new? Commercial break. Meanwhile, we got a 3-rider battle for the lead up front, heading to the white flag right now. This time by, they will get the white flag waved in their face. Oh, Garachi just blows it after the whoops. So Martin gets the white flag all by himself with Jay Jones still running in the 2 spot. So who's going to win this heat? Will Martin hang on or will Jones run him down? Oh, Martin is down in his own right and Jones squeaks through. So Jay Jones now leads from Martin, or actually Garachi, into the 2 spot. Martin will get up in 3rd still. Jace Baldwin is 4th. Chris Santino is 5th. Alex Stinson is 6th. Dwayne Cusano's up to 7th with Zach Fisher dropping back to the 8th spot. Dale Mullins continues to try to jump off the side of the track there in 9th, and he will lose the 9 spot to Ricky Williams now. So it's not over there yet, but now Williams has some breathing room if he so chooses to keep it on 2 wheels this time around. Cusano's on the ground, so he'll actually go back to the final transfer spot as Williams slides through. We'll head back up front real quick, though, before the end, as Jay Jones is about to bring it on down. Took the lead on the last lap, and I believe this will be the only lap of the race he leads, but it is the most important one. So Jay Jones wins Open Am Heat number 2 here at the opening round of the Fall Cup. Garachi is in 2nd still after a crash. Eric Martin has Santino down the inside of him. Nope. Santino thinks better of it, so that's 3rd and 4th. Santino's going to go through, and Stinson also goes through. Santino into 3rd, Stinson into 4th. Eric Martin trying to get up in 5th. Jace Baldwin will pass him by the looks of it. Yep. That was a nice little move there. So Ricky Williams is 6th here. Dale Mullins 7th, Josh Boaz 8th, and Zach Fisher in 9th. And Boaz is down again in this rhythm, and fortunately did not get Fisher collected in his mess. And Fisher, I believe, is about to come through. Oh no, he is in the final transfer spot now. So Fisher able to get around Boaz for the final transfer before the end of it. Zach Fisher going to the main event tonight. Boaz also is going to miss out with Carson Forkham. And was that Dwayne Cusano, who is in transfer most of this race? He's out too. Those guys are going to LCQ. Alex Cunningham, Colin Blakita, Blake Ashley, Dakota Cox. My internet also died again. Cox internet. What else is new? Jason Gorley. I wonder if that's any relation to Austin Gorley. Would be kind of unique. All right, let's take a look at the top 9, see if the transfers are still there. Zach Fisher, Dale Mullins, Ricky Williams, Eric Martin, Jace Baldwin, Alex Stinson, Chris Santino, Michael Garachi, and Jay Jones. Those were the final transfer spots. All 9 riders going through to the main event. All other runners going to the last chance qualifier. Oh, my internet is awesome, so awesome. When you pay for internet that sucks a big fat way. Da 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 da. Hey, look who just realized his microphone was muted. Kellen. That's awesome, though. Now, hopefully, that my microphone is back and I'm talking, I'll be just in time for the internet to crash. It'll be great fun. Jonathan Hughes takes a white flag. Ahead of Devin Ryan in second, Robert Wilson third, Craig Leake fourth. So I believe this is the last transfer spot right here. Derek Thorpe. Nope, it is not. It is Fred Heather. Whoa, Tanner Rogers is going to try to cut the track, but he goes down in the process. So Fred Heather's all alone, but he's going over the bars. Really just needed to ride smooth. Now might Patrick Stewart make it to the main out of this one, as he's having some troubles, and he goes over the bars. Nobody wants it. Leitzel slides through, although Tanner Rogers is having just a great time magic manning his way to the front of the field here, sort of. That's what it looks like when you have my internet connection. So Fred Heather's going to have to go try to pass an invisible, or now at least for the most part visible, Tanner Rogers. Meanwhile, up front, before we get through this, Jonathan Hughes is bringing this thing to the checkered flag. Oh, Devin Ryan tried to get close there in the end, but Jonathan Hughes wins Prince of SX heat number 1 right in front of Devin Ryan. Craig Leake fought his way up to third, and Robert Wilson takes fourth ahead of Jarrett Gaskew, so good rides out of all those guys. Armstrong eventually moved his way into sixth ahead of Derek Thorpe. And Jake Rose is recovering from a little mistake in that corner. And Tanner Rogers looks like he is maybe going to survive his interwebs issues to get into that final transfer spot tonight. Maybe. We'll see. You know, he's not there, he's there, he's there, he's not there, and then he's there, and then he's not there again, and now he's there. So, over the line in 9th. See if he hangs on to that given cuts or anything. Fred Heather is 10th across the line. Patrick Stewart will end up 11th. Logan Leitzel brings it home in 12th. Blake Scheinman was up there at one point in time. He'll end up 13th. Thomas Sillick in 14th here. And Dominic Saulnier, Chris Jason, and I'm in warm-up mode. So 16 riders started this one. And only 9 of them went through to the main event. So the rest of the runners will go to the LCQ. I'll wait for cuts to come back, but I'm going to mute my microphone for just a second. I'm going to go get a beer. And when I come back and start talking inevitably without my microphone unmuted, you guys are very welcome to just riddle me in chat until I'm starting talking again. All right, I'm back. Am I good? Did I get my microphone started again? You guys will tell me if I didn't, right? Oh wait, you wouldn't be able to hear me. Never mind. Anyway, we are on to Prince of SX Heat number 2. I'm going to try to find someone a little bit more down the inside, and it is Cody Branson, who actually gets a pretty good start. He's got the inside line all to himself, and he will come out with the hole shot. I've been pretty good tonight at picking the guys. There's a lot of riders going down there in that second corner. But we're back. Prince of SX Heat number 2 now out on the track. You're watching the opening round of the FAMmx Fall Cup series, a 3-round series run by FAMmx Designs and RaceFactorGaming.com. This is Prince of SX Heat number 2. Coming up after this will be the King of SX Heat races, as Cody Branson just decided to do his best Trevor Piranha impression, and he goes over the bars but rides out of it as Bryce Whelan, his teammate, takes the lead. EGFX riders 1-2 now, with Hunter Deischer and Matthias Janis holding down the 3 and 4 spots respectively. I don't know if Hunter Root will race tonight. We have not seen Hunter Root race any of the SX Madness series, but I don't know if that's because he just doesn't want to race that series or if he's not around. I'm not too sure. He did race a couple of the Monster Cup races that I saw, but we'll see. Right now, Prince of SX class out on track, and a very fast rider is leading this thing. Bryce Whelan, recent pickup by Bentley Graphics, BGFX team. Very solid rider, very quick rider, struggles sometimes with consistency, but outright speed, he is one of the better in the game currently. And he's leading away from his teammate. And both these guys are looking pretty smooth out front. Little hitch in their step over the triple in there, but otherwise looking smooth. And Cody Branson just is going to be willing to stick with his teammate here. So it's still Deischer and Janis. Now Dylan Copeland comes through in the 5 spot. Jeff Cooper, MGX, excuse me, running in 6th, 2-stroking it up. Schuler 7th, our boy Johnny Rollins. You may see that he's running the SYS stuff. More on what that's all about in the future, but good old John Rollins back out there racing and currently in a transfer spot. This guy is on the bubble though. Brandon Hedge in the last transfer spot. Oh, and maybe not for long. What a save. Ronnie Maxtown into the corner. Meanwhile, here comes Usyk slicing through on the 99 MV Films Honda, but he's about to be repassed for that spot. Colton Mitchell with a very aggressive pass. Mitchell, one of the faster riders on the track tonight, puts JT George on the deck, and Mitchell's on a mission. He is 10th. Number 10 is trying to move into 9th to get himself into the main event tonight. Yes, Jonathan Hughes, I do have your skins, and congratulations on your Heat race win there, buddy. I caught every waking moment of it, whether we were on the air or not. So here comes Mitchell closing in on Brandon Hedge for the last transfer spot. How long does Hedge get to keep this spot, really? Because, whoa, what kind of line is he taking there? That is not the right side of the track that you want to be on. And just like that, away it goes. So Mitchell now finds himself in the final transfer spot right behind Ronnie Jollins, who's got James Schuler in his sights. Whoa, Mitchell hung up on the back of Rollins there. Man, I've seen a lot of guys tonight struggling with trying to nail jumps into the section or something in general, and having bad kicks going over the bars a little bit. Not sure if that's their setup or what, but I have not had a single issue on this track with getting kicked over the bars. Either way, Colt Mitchell is doing a great job of charging through the field. But it is all Bryce Whelan at the front, and we've actually lost. Where did Cody Branson go? He is now 6th. Here is Branson. He was running 2nd. He's about to pass a couple guys who are down, including Dylan Copeland and Jeff Cooper. And, oh, we got another rider down. Matthias Janis is on the ground. And Copeland squeaks by now, so Janis gets going. Oh, it's been a constant struggle all day whether or not I was going to be able to save my voice on this stream or not, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose my voice before the end of this. I've been battling a cold all weekend long. Probably sound a little bit nasally. But whether or not the stream is up, my voice may not be up for the entire night. Either way, we're gonna lose it in style. No SX Madness this week, of course, with Thanksgiving coming up in the States, so happy Thanksgiving to all you people out there, but we will not be having SX Madness this week, and happy Thanksgiving a month ago, Canada. Hope it was splendid up there. Cody Branson is really putting an aggressive move on Jeff Cooper there, and it puts him on the ground. As Copeland and Janice slice through, and here's Mitchell trying to triple in from the outside, but he's going to end up going off the track, and he'll go right underneath our camera here. Try to keep with these guys. Remember, a 6-lap heat race for the Prince of SX class. Janice is trying to get back around Copeland, but Jeff Cooper's still right in tow there on the 2-stroke. Riding a 250 2-stroke. You can ride a 250 2-stroke in this class. It's 250 cc's and below. So even the F and the R's are available, but Jeff Cooper not making the 2-stroke look all that great with his Ronnie Mac style endos there. Jack Zars is now coming through and finds himself in 7th. So that means Jeff Cooper's back to 8th and Schuler is 9th. John Rollins outside looking in currently. Rollins also has Walter Gebhardt behind him, and Gebhardt, not a nice person usually, and he just tried to shove Rollins to the deck, but I think Rollins and his British internet just helped him out a little bit there. Cooper trying to get down to the inside of Zars, makes a pass. Zars not doing the triple, gets passed by Schuler. Here comes Rollins, but Rollins didn't want to try it. Let's go back up front real quick. Battle for the lead, change for the lead. Hunter Deischer has now taken over the race lead on the last lap. A few corners to go, and he blows the corner right over the berm, and Whelan takes it back just like that. Deischer held the lead for one straightaway, but in the end, it is none other than Bryce Whelan coming down. He wins Prince of SX Heat number 2, Deischer, Branson, Mitchell, Copeland, Janice in 6th, Cooper 7th, Schuler 8th, and Zars 9th. So Rollins has got to do something to close in, and Gebhardt is also trying to get there. Oh, looks like we got a mistake there by Schuler, and oh, Rollins goes through. Gebhardt is also right there, though, and Gebhardt quads behind him. Schuler down the inside, and Rollins stays up. Gebhardt and Schuler are both down. Is anybody down in the whoops? Rollins is just jumping his way through, and Gebhardt just goes off the track down the inside of Schuler. He had no room there, but Rollins takes the checkered flag in the end, and Gebhardt gets trying to get going, but in the end, Hedge gets through. Schuler misses out. Gebhardt in 12th there. Nick Usick 13th. So all these guys going to the LCQ now. Zoa Cross coming through in maybe 14th if he tries to finish this race. And JT George Rage quit out of 15th, so we're waiting for Zoa Cross so we can see cuts. And cuts are in, and Rollins does indeed hang on to the 9th spot. Janice, Zars, Cooper, Copeland, Mitchell, Branson, Deischer, and Whelan going to the main. Everybody else is not going through. So a little shame for some of those guys not making it, but they'll have another chance in the LCQ. What's going on over there, chat? Got a few people mentioning in chat. I got a half day of school tomorrow, so that's awesome for Critical for Days. I think a lot of people are going to have half days. Some people maybe even have the day off. In terms of school, I know most of our fan base might still be in school, given that they're in a certain age demographic. Fortunately for me, I graduated from college this year, so I'm done. It's nice. What bikes is SYS riding in 2017? Well, that I think I can disclose. We'll be on Yamahas again, but it's a completely different look, and you'll see what I mean in about a month. We'll have a video coming out. Caden Mack had the whole week off. That is tip-top-roo. I wish I ever had that in any time when I went to school. I'd either get just a half day on Wednesday or Wednesday off, but always had to go Monday and Tuesday. I never got a whole week off. Oh boy. Coming up next, king of SX. I'm gonna keep drinking. It's a good night. Taco Tuesday, by the way. I didn't have tacos tonight. I had spaghetti. But, you know. Yes, we will be doing a team edit before the Supercross season. I hope to have that out mid-December or so. So you guys will see exactly what's going on. And we'll probably have some more contests and stuff where we'll give away bikes and gear for SYS guys. We don't do amateur teams. So don't ask. Why am I such a beast? I don't know. I have 0 hair on my body, which is a shame. For some reason, I've never been able to grow a beard. I'm kind of just like a child at heart, as always, despite being 23 years old. So I'm not a beast in that respect. Whether I'm a beast in sim, well, that's for you to decide. No school on Thursday and Friday for Art Institute. Well, that sounds like a cool thing. Who did win the quiz on the RF compound? Yeah, we did Track Walk episode 100 on the RF compound. Did a quiz. Whoever won got a free bike and gear. And I've already been in contact with the guy that won. If you watch episode 102 of Track Walk, we announced the winner. Or no, was it episode 101 or 102? 102, I think. I can't remember his name, which is a shame, but somebody won, and he knows who it is. Anyway, on to the King of SX, heat number 1. Limited gates out there tonight, not a full gate. Guess I should have tried to go out there tonight, huh? We are underway, and Daniel Mills, who I was watching, gets put on the ground, so I already jinxed it. Out front, Jordan Vanderlee on the 25 Mad Cave Kawasaki takes the lead, but he almost gets ran into by his teammate William St. Laurent, who momentarily takes the spot before Vanderlee triples in from the outside to take it back. Looks like Shipley is right there running Brady Stanley's gear, and Adam Holmes' bike is all I can guess. I don't know who 81 is, but Shipley, for some reason, superstitious, never runs his own bike and gear. I wish he would, but he doesn't. He goes down and Heckman slides through, so Heckman now in a good transfer spot. Michael Wheeler is trying out for the King of SX class tonight. And he finds himself ahead of Andrew O'Hagan, who must be the 81 that Shipley runs. So it's O'Hagan's bike as Wheels goes for the Boner Air Leclerc line. Ends up almost going into our camera there as Evan Delesdernier tries to slide in. Steven Azarkowicz has Jordan Vanderlee and Shipley closing in. I thought both those guys were up front. I don't know what happened to them. Up front now, it's Alex Heckman leading the race over Andrew O'Hagan. So Heckman on the 55 leading this thing. Might this be the first main of the off-season that Heckman makes? Has not been in a main event yet to my knowledge for the SX Madness series, so he's trying to make it into the fall main events here tonight. How many people did we have lined up? Azarkowicz in 14th, now 15th. 15 riders lined up for this open, I want to say open pro, but it's the King of SX class. So Heckman, O'Hagan, St. Laurent, Evan Delesdernier. Michael Wheeler, Jeremy Shipley. My internet's trying to give up. And I think it did give up. I hate my internet. Oh, we had some riders down the whoops as Heckman still leads. St. Laurent and O'Hagan are down together there. So they were both up front. They've gone backwards a little bit. Any second now, we'll hear the blip. Internet has officially crashed. So when will OBS just tell me that it did crash, huh? Oh, we got some riders stacked up there. That's Vanderlee and Wheels caught together. And it's caused kind of a traffic jam here in the middle of the pack. I believe, oh, there goes the blip as Vanderlee puts Wheels on the ground for 8th. And moves into 7th. So Toy now to 8th. Jake West is 9th as Jack Haley's going backwards. So this is 8th and 9th right here. Jake West holds down that last transfer spot. Damn, my internet was doing so good for like a race and a half there. And then finally it gave up. It's coming back. Here comes my internet. Choo-choo. It'll be coming around the mountain when it comes. Meanwhile, Jake West still in the last transfer spot. Still has a good gap on Michael Wheeler. There are some heavy hitters behind him, though. Oh, we got a roast battle going on in chat, meanwhile. As West tries to get down the inside of Ben Toy, we're watching the battle for not the last transfer spot. Up front, Heckman still leading the way. I was mentioning Heckman just trying to make it to the main event. This guy damn might near win this heat race here. Get himself a brilliant gate pick for the main. He's got a big old gap on Jeremy Shipley, who is down in second right now. And Daniel Mills is now moving into that second spot as Shipley gets going again. Shows how drunk I am. I just picked up my empty beer bottle and tried to drink it. Good times. Good times. Look at how far Heckman is out front, though. Already through the first rhythm, and Mills hasn't even hit the finish. Just now hits it. Shipley still in third with O'Hagan trailing him in fourth. St. Laurent in fifth. Good group of guys right here. This is probably a group that could run down Heckman if he starts making mistakes. But I think they're going to get involved with each other more than they'll worry about trying to run Heckman down as a battle for... Oh, we got some dualies, but it turns into a collision. O'Hagan and Laurent getting in there. So Shipley, after he got around D-Mills, is getting away as D-Mills does a little panic revving of his own. That rhythm section there. 11-second lead, though, for Heckman. And he's about to click on the last lap of the race. Just needed a start, did Heckman, it looks like. So white flag now in the air. We got a change for the last transfer spot as Vanderlei, I believe, now goes into the final transfer spot. Let me just make sure of that. Yes. Now he's in the final transfer spot. Did start up front. Now finds himself behind Jake West and in 9th place. So through the hoopties they go. Oh, T-Bone McGee over there. Jake West just lights up Evan Delesdernier for 7th. That was unnecessary. But Delesdernier hangs on for now as Zarkowicz is going to try to close in. My good golly gosh. That was a gnarly takeout on Jake West's side there. I don't know if it was Delesdernier cutting down in the berm too early or what was going on there, but either way it caused both of them to get hung up. Delesdernier went down, and Zarkowicz trying to close in. We'll head back up front right now as Alex Heckman, he is going to hang on and take the win here in open heat number 2. The King of SX heat goes to number 55 machine Shipley. Coming through. Actually, this is the first heat, right? Yeah, first heat. My bad. So heat number 1 goes to Heckman. Shipley 2nd. O'Hagan 3rd. St. Laurent in 4th. Mills in 5th. Ben Toy should hang on to 6th from here. Jake West has moved up to 7th as Vanderlei's off the track. He's in 8th. And Delesdernier is trying to hang on for 9th with Michael Wheeler closing in. But Wheels is just taking all kinds of good lines through that rhythm section. So Delesdernier gets through the whoops clean, and he is going to the main event on his 337 Pogo machine. Michael Wheeler headed to the LCQ along with Jack Haley. That's kind of a surprise to see Haley not making it through. Zarkowicz also not going through as Jeremy Shipley decides going backwards across the track is a good idea. Oh no, I'm sorry, that was Brady Stanley going backwards across the track. Jack Haley comes across and cuts her in, so let's see if it stayed the same. It stayed the exact same. Top 9 transfer through to the main event with Heckman taking the win. So good on you, Alex Heckman. I would say, yeah, you know, you'd fancy that maybe we gave him a little bit of good luck tonight by playing his video on the pre-stream. Could be, could not be. I'm not going to take credit for it. You know, he went out there and won it himself. But, you know. Either way, good ride from Heckman. Setting up a very interesting kind of main event. At least out of this class. We'll have to see what happens in the second heat race in the King of SX division. But, yeah, not to see the more or less heavy hitters in this class shine through the front. You'd expect to see, like, a Vanderlee and a Shipley go 1-2, and Stanley didn't even make the main event out of this one, which is already pretty crazy. But let's see what we got in store for King of SX heat number 2 here. Little bit behind schedule by the looks of it here. We were supposed to get this heat race underway about 7 minutes ago, so 7 minutes behind schedule, not the worst. Just keep on waiting, waiting for my solid state to load the gates. Whoops. Oh, that was interesting. I don't know what just happened there. Anyway, we are underway here. Again at the Sandlot, and this heat looks hella stacked. At least the front two are two guys I would see as possible winners tonight. Ben McLeod takes the whole shot away from Jesse Mullins, but Mullins immediately gets passed by Jared Seidhoff. So Seidhoff, Callaway, Mullins, Williams almost getting landed on by Ethan Park. Somehow they're checking each other in the timing section and missing each other. Blake O'Brien just had Casey Oler run up his back fender, and Reed Young slid through. So this is King of SX heat number 2. After this, we will have the 3 LCQs and the 3 mains, so we'll be about halfway through the program as soon as this race is wrapped up. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream here tonight, other than the internet being garbage. So McLeod looks like he's going to try to lead them through for the opening lap. Whenever McLeod gets a start, he's always real cheeky about it. He runs up front for a long time, and he has the speed to win a race. Consistency could be another thing for him, but he is smooth as butter when it comes to a hot lap. And when he doesn't have to go through the field, it's usually a good night for McLeod. So good starts could be key for him tonight, and he's got a good start in this heat race. Right now, it's Vermoto teammates Jesse Callaway and Jared Seidhoff duking it out for the 2 spot, with Jesse Mullins just trying to hang on there in 3rd. Oh, and Seidhoff goes over the berm, so Mullins moves through. And now Mullins already on the back of Callaway, finds a smooth line down the inside, actually kind of went through the bales there. And we got Dooley City, man, where's the shots when you need them? But Mullins slides through. A battle of the Jessies for 2nd. Goes to the Mullins in the benefactor department. So the 9 machine moves into 2nd, but he's going to have a little trouble getting through this rhythm. 4.8 seconds behind your race leader, Ben McLeod, who I just saw going the other way. He's over the finish line now. Will Mullins be able to catch him? Mullins, one of the few people I could see winning this event tonight, with kind of a low turnout for what you'd expect to see out of the high-level riders, at least. Oh, we got somebody down up here. That was a lapper, I guess. Someone on a Yamaha in front of these guys. I can't tell who that is. That is Mullins. That's weird. Why didn't Mullins register for me for a second? So Mullins has lost a big chunk of time to McLeod. About halfway through King of SX heat number 2, Mullins makes a mistake, and there goes the 75 of Josh Williams. So we got an Aussie 1-2 right now. And wouldn't you believe it, Jay Jones is riding Josh Williams' bike, and Josh Williams himself is not riding his own bike. Just how it goes with skins these days, especially in the off-season. Everybody's like, I'm going to run skins that have nothing to do with what we posted. Sounds like a plan. So Mullins is going to try to go back after Josh Williams, and down the inside he goes, and wow, that was aggressive to say the least. Puts them both off the track. Mullins gets up side by side with Callaway, and Williams is going to have something to say about that after the race. He might have something to say about it before this race is over, for all I have to imagine about that. So Mullins ahead of Williams, Callaway, and Strelo now. Strelo finds himself up in the 5 spot. Looking across the top of your screen, Jared Seidhoff was running second. He's 11th now, so he's gone backwards. Strelo's just trying to find his way into the main event, but he might find himself a better spot on the gate tonight, especially with a move around Callaway like that. Callaway goes down, so his next victim could be Josh Williams if he can catch him. As Williams is jumping off the inside of the track here. Ooh, good save by the 75. Untouched at the front is Ben McLeod right now as Williams goes off the track and rejoins. Oh, and Strelo's got Fjellberg closing on him now. This is the first we've seen of Fjellberg in a little while, racing this Fall Cup. No SX madness so far for Fjellberg. So he's going to go after Strelo. Oh, we got a lapper in front of Mullins, trying to see who that is. That's a 488, looks like. Let's see if I see the number crawl across the top of the screen. That is a 489 of Doiron, dead last right now. And he's right in the mix of this battle. How about this battle going on for 4th? Fjellberg and Strelo. Strelo's been really picking up the pace as of late, but Fjellberg is a multi-time champion in this game. He knows how to get to the front and in a hurry as Williams goes down. Looks like he may have had some help to the ground by Doiron, and Strelo and Fjellberg both slide through. So through the rhythm section we go, up and down, all around. Strelo still has Fjellberg breathing down his neck up front. Ben McLeod untouched, all alone. This battle for 3rd is still raging, though. I really want to see what happens. Fjellberg is just giving him all kinds of fits for this 3 spot. 56 versus the 69. Fjellberg is actually number 3 under Race Factor Gaming regulations, but off-season rules allowed to run something different down the inside and put Strelo over the berm. That was aggressive, to say the least, but we saw that earlier from Mullins. So Fjellberg took a risk, and it paid off for neither of them as Williams goes back into the 3 spot. Let's focus on Ben McLeod a little bit, though. I haven't talked about him the whole race. As he works through this last rhythm section. I'm sorry, but we have one more rhythm section to go. And McLeod is looking mighty fine at the front of the field, running down through the whoops. Could he win this race tonight? He very well could. And Ben McLeod apparently wins heat number 1. I don't know what's going on there. That was weird. It just gave Mullins the lead. See, it says Mullins now leading the race, and over the line, Mullins apparently wins the race on my screen. My internet didn't go out. I don't know what just happened. So Williams will unofficially cross the line in 3rd, and Fjellberg unofficially in 4th. Strelo, again, unofficially in 5th. I'm not sure what's going on right now. Blake O'Brien 6th. Casey Ohlert 7th. Ben McLeod still unofficially has not crossed the line according to our screen here. I'm not sure what exactly is going on. Something's going on though. So in front of him, Ohlert finished 6th, Schmidt finished 7th, Seidhoff 8th, and apparently for the last transfer spot, Reed Young will not get it. Ethan Parks got it. All kinds of confusion here. Still no idea what's going on to Ben. I think, well, so Parks gets the final transfer spot for now. Seidhoff, Schmidt, Ohlert, O'Brien, Strelo, Fjellberg, Williams, Mullins are going through. We're still waiting to see what's going on with McLeod. Unofficially, he has not finished. He's sitting after the finish line in 13th, not finished. And that's it. So basically we're waiting for McLeod to, quote, finish the race, but he did finish first. And now McLeod is unofficially listed 13th after being black flagged. So not sure how this is all going to shake down right now. We're kind of waiting to see what exactly is going on. Very well could be another case of a DDoS attack. We saw a lot of Australians basically admitting to DDoSing on the forums last week, all of which got banned from the forums and from Race Factory Gaming. And most of those guys had admitted in the original kind of catch that, you know, if they were caught again, they would be put in front of the FBI, and very well we could be seeing that happen. So, these kids, if they want to DDoS, you know, a jail cell is a great place to be for 15 years. You know, that's what you want. Have fun. That's all we gotta say. We're waiting for them to build LCQs right now while they still figure out this McLeod situation. Obviously, he won that heat race. I mean, he was all alone at the front and was on his way to winning. Yeah, it looks like McLeod knows he got DDoSed again. So, awesome stuff. Good to see that the cat drug in some awful community members to MX Simulator, and they won't go away. As much as I usually talk crap about Ben, I honestly feel horrible for him. That's pretty shitty that here he is just trying to have a good night, and he's got some soon-to-be convicted felons, basically, trying to ruin his night. So we're just right now waiting for those LCQs. As soon as those get underway, we'll be going back to watching the racing, but I figured I'd turn a few laps. Why not? Ooh, looks like it's getting real. Shit's going down. So we got checkers right now mentioning in chat that those said people that came forward and said they'd never do it again, or else presses would be charged, have now lied. And fortunately, it's very, very easy to press charges in Australia, where this is being done. It's also pretty easy to do it in the US, but they make it quite easy in Australia because there's a huge law that cracks down on denial of service attacks. Fortunately, it's not on the server, so it's not really affecting our racing. We're just waiting for the LCQs to get underway, but Ben McLeod has unofficially lost his heat race due to a denial of service attack. And by the looks of it, some young 16-year-old nose testicular children have lost their future. Good on you, mates. Well done. GG. 8 out of 8. Great rate, mate. Man, that is unfortunate. So we're still just waiting here on Blake, I believe, to build the LCQs. Then we will get the LCQs underway, and then we'll be on our merry way. So we'll keep on waiting on some kids to grow some testicles. When you've had a few drinks, you care a lot less. Release an album of covers. And it's funny, we actually do, or at least I feel like I do, sing a lot of songs occasionally when we do videos. It used to happen a lot more often when we'd be doing stuff with Jeremy on the channel. Because we'd go off on a tangent and then we'd remember a song lyric and then we'd both sing it and it'd be great fun. Could release a, you know, cover. Alright, Open Amateur LCQ coming up. What is happening? You just got here. Well, right now we have the Open Amateur Last Chance Qualifier at the opening round of the FAMmx Fall Cup in 2016 on the gate. And if you just joined while I was talking about testicles, well, basically, we were talking about some no testicular children who have DDoSed Ben McLeod out of a heat race win earlier on tonight and are now going to be charged with a felony in Australia. So good on you, mate. Well done, GG. Meanwhile, this LCQ is underway and Josh Boaz has just taken the lead away from Blake Ashley. And Carson Forkham has Dwayne Cassano right behind him, but Alex Cunningham just made the move as Cassano got hit to the ground. Here's Nick Caravallo. Husey has guaranteed a hole shot in his main event, and by that, that is the Prince of SX main event. Jonathan Hughes won his heat race. He's in chat right now saying, I guarantee a hole shot. Well, we'll see about that. Anyway, continuing on with the action on track, Alex Cunningham has moved into second round. Blake Ashley, who's just trying to hang on in front of Nick Carvalho in the final transfer spot right now. Oh, Carvalho down the inside of Ashley. And here comes Kyle Scott. So it is up for debate, this final transfer spot right now. Ashley has it. Kyle Scott wants it. Who's going to take it? Kyle Scott down the inside, makes the pass. Ashley jumps on top of him, and they are both going flying. Kyle Scott is off the track, and he is going to hang on to that spot as Carson Forkum has a couple problems. So it is Boaz, Cunningham, Carvalho, Scott. Top 4 right now, with Forkum hanging on in 5th, just trying to keep things close. Maybe these guys will crash, or maybe Forkum will run down Kyle Scott. He is close enough to maybe get things rumbled up, to show a wheel or two, maybe try to make a block pass if he gets close enough. Have I ever thought about commentating in real life? Yes, I absolutely have thought about it, and would like to do that in the future at some point. Be nice. Just got to find the right job opportunity. So Boaz, Cunningham, Carvalho, and now Kyle Scott is closing in on Carvalho as the rider down in the background is Forkum. So it's just these two to go at it. Can I spectate Ethan Holland? Well, let's see where Mr. Holland is. It's not in the top 10 by the looks of it. Ethan Holland is wide open on the top of the triple face here, down in the 12th? 13th? 14th? Oh, he's in 14th. Ethan Holland. Not going to be going to the main tonight, unfortunately for him. I should do GPs. What's wrong with Paul Malin? I think Malin's great. Unless you're talking about, Motors TV. Don't they have different people do that? Meanwhile, Boaz is a little out of shape in the whoops, but he has a nice save there as he's coming to the white flag. These guys are pretty well gone from the rest of the field. Forkum is the only one that's close enough to Carvalho to even kind of think about it, but he needs a crash out of Carvalho, especially with the white flag now in the air. Looking like it's pretty impossible. It's interesting you guys bring it up, though, that I should try to get a job covering MXGP, because pretty good chance my fiance and I might move to England in the near future. But that's a big if. We'll see. Josh Boaz is cruising, not very smoothly, but he's cruising, and we'll give him that because he is 11.3 seconds out front, nailing the big boy lines through the rhythm sections. And Boaz is going to come through and stamp his ticket to the main event with a win in the amateur LCQ. Kyle Scott has moved into the 2 spot. Do they have good internet in England? Well, I can pretty much guarantee you it's better than what I have. I'm honestly pretty sure Australian internet's better than mine. Alex Cunningham ends up taking over second after Kyle Scott went down, but Carvalho will hang on to the final transfer spot behind him. Carson Forkum is not going to the main event. Neither is Dwayne Cusano, Blake Ashley, Jason Gorley, Grant Harlan, Dakota Cox, Wesley Oliveira, Taylor Davis, Ethan Holland, or Garrett Olver. So that is Open Amateur Heat LCQ in the books. Coming up next will be the Prince of SX Last Chance Qualifier. And hopefully it's a little bit more entertaining than this LCQ. Good on all the guys that finished in the top 4. That's Boaz, Cunningham, Scott, and Carvalho. But maybe we'll see a little bit more entertainment out of this next one coming up here. How about that Ethan Holland kid indeed? Did a solid job here bringing home, what did he bring home, 13th, 14th? Hey, he made the night show. Can't knock him. 13th for Ethan Holland. Good on you, mate. It's not easy to make night shows in any race factor gaming competition, whether it's amateur or not. Yes, this is the Sandlot. This is the track that Blake Scheiman released on Sunday night, and we are now racing it for round 1 of the FAMmx Fall Cup, a 3-round series. I should get Hinders back on the commentating. He does a better job than me, doesn't he? Yeah, well, unfortunately, we'll have more news about Hinders coming in the near future. Big stuff changing at SYS. Big things popping and little things a-stopping. Watch Fred Heather. Let's see if I can find him. He's way on the inside. There he is. Fred Heather Connect Motorsports. We got, how many guys we got lined up for this LCQ? 10? 11? 12? No, there's 12 at least as we're underway. And there are 12. And Fred Heather got a terrible start. But he might make it work. He's going to come out in about second with that inside gate. And it's Walter Gebhardt with the hole shot in the Prince of SX LCQ here. Only 4 riders going to the main event out of this one. 4 laps, 4 riders to the main will make up a 22-man main event. And right now, Fred Heather just made a mistake behind him, but Gebhardt is down with the lead. Heather goes to the front, and behind him, the 298 of Hedge right there moves into the 2 spot as Zoe Cross and Schuler come through. It's real tight in there. Top 4 are all on top of each other, basically. So those guys are all good. Scheiman is trying to fight his way in. And if there's anybody that knows this track like the back of his hand, well, it's track builder himself, Blake Scheiman, who spent a lot of time tweaking little things about this track to make it feel a little bit better before it was finally released. And right now he is in 5th, but he's going backwards as Gebhardt slides through into the 5 spot. Neither one of those guys in transfer right now, though. No, these are not just amateurs. These are actually a mix of pros and amateurs, most of which of the guys that will make it to the main event probably have an A license. Some of the guys in here might have a B license. They can race if they have a B license. But Fred Heather, for example, has an A license. He is leading this thing right now. Not sure what Brandon Hedge has, but I do believe Zoe Cross also has an A license, as does Schuler in the background there. As Zoe Cross gets a little risky for the business there and jumps onto the back of Hedge, which causes Schuler to get put off the track. And now Gebhardt slides his way through. That was a very dodgy maneuver by Zoe Cross when he didn't need to. Now he's got Blake Scheiman right behind him. And Schuler, good save. Still in the last transfer spot right now. So Heather is pulling away at the front. Hedge is now under attack from Gebhardt, and Hedge is going to jump right off the track and give it to him there. Little mistake by Hedge before the finish line led to that, as Schuler is tipped over in the final corner, and there is Zoe Cross going into the final transfer spot. Not over yet. Schuler's trying to hang on. Little nose heavy on the landing there. Got to avoid the inside pole. Zoe Cross is pulling away. Patrick Stewart runs in the 6th spot. Scheiman now 7th. So can Schuler repass Zoe Cross for that last transfer spot? Time will only tell. White flag is about to be in the air for your race leader at the moment. which is Fred Heather. Should be waving any second now. We'll see the green icon at the top right-hand corner of the screen turn to white, which should be right about now. There it is. Battle for the last transfer spot. Pretty much over, though. Schuler's losing touch quickly with Cross. So Cross has this all to lose at this point, especially with Schuler losing more and more time. Might even get passed by Patrick Stewart before the end. So again, another somewhat boring LCQ. It was a little bit more interesting there at the beginning, but it's spread out here towards the end of it. Oh, Hedge has just come from off the track, so Zoe Cross has moved into... Oh, Hedge is down. Zoe Cross is third. And here comes Schuler, who just might get into the last transfer spot as he quads in, and Hedge is just getting going. Now it's exciting. Here we go. Can Brandon Hedge work his way back into this battle? He's trying to keep things close. Schuler's right in front of him. Up front, Fred Heather is about to come through and take the checkered flag to move on to the main event, but we're watching this battle here. Can Schuler hang on? As Heather does click in the race victory. We got to write her down in second, I think. Gebhardt is down and Cross slides through. Gebhardt should have enough time to get going. Yes, he does. So Gebhardt is going to the main in third, and Schuler slides by Brandon Hedge. In a last-ditch effort, Hedge went down, and Hedge now not going to the main event. I'm sure he's not too thrilled about that. He had it all to lose there, and he lost it all. Lights lands up fifth after passing him. Stewart sixth, Hedge seventh, Usyk back here in eighth, Silic ninth, Scheiman out of the race in 10th, George 11th, Saulnier 12th, and that was all the runners that started the Prince of SX last chance qualifier. I'm going to mute my mic again real fast if you guys will bear with me, and when I come back I hope that I will turn it on, and if I don't, please remind me. Be right back. Alright, I did not make it back in time. My apologies. But Ben McLeod is indeed being forced to go through the LCQ, which, in my opinion, is pretty crazy. I know that they can't do much about changing scripts and stuff like that, but McLeod clearly and outright, even on my screen, won that heat race. And fortunately, it looks like he got a good start in this LCQ and might be well on his way to just making the main event out of the LCQ. Anyway, he's bringing Jack Haley with him. And Kevin Ferzaka runs in the 3 spot. Meanwhile, Ethan Parks, who initially crossed the line in 9th, but must have lost it on cuts in that heat race that McLeod ended up not making it through, is in the LCQ. But he's right in front of Trevor Doiron here. So let's see how this turns out as Doiron slides it down to the inside, trying to show him a wheel. Behind them is Callaway, Steven Azarkowicz, Brady Stanley, Michael Wheeler, Tanner Halverson, and all those guys. That was 10 guys that started this one. So only 6 guys out of this heat race, or I'm sorry, this LCQ, why do I keep seeing heat race? Out of this LCQ are going home unhappy. And hopefully this time around, McLeod is able to get through this one without too many issues. Remember, he was DDoS attacked in the heat race that he so clearly won, but just being forced to go through this LCQ. Jack Haley. Hung up in the berm in second for Zaka and Parks. Parks is getting away from Doiron. We haven't done onboards at all tonight, so let's go on board with Doiron for a little bit and see if he can close in on Ethan Parks, who just went wide in that corner. And now he's going to come on behind Doiron, but he's going to quad up, and he's going to get down to the inside. Yes, he will. So, and Doiron hits the deck, so Callaway now into the 5 spot. Can he run down Ethan Parks for the last transfer spot? We will have to see how this goes here. Great onboard action here. Last transfer spot on the line. Callaway to the inside through the bales and makes the pass on Ethan Parks. Parks is trying to fight back. Will he shove it down the inside? No, thinks better of it. He had an opportunity there, but he did not take it. And Callaway gets away clean for the time being. Will he be able to get away and hang on, though, is the question. White flag will be in the air next time by, and Callaway is on the sprint mode attack right now. Though he just ruined this rhythm section, Parks is going to have a better line. He's not close enough. And he blows his corner again. Corner is eating Parks alive tonight, as I think Stanley just went down. Yeah, and he took Parks with him. So Callaway is going to have it all to himself now. Yes, they did target Ben, specifically the DDoSers. You can do many things. You're specifically targeting an IP when you do a denial of service attack. And so if they have Ben's IP, they can attack his IP and deny his service. But as you saw before, an IP like elsinore.mxsimulator.com, whatever, if that's attacked by a DDoSer, it's technically an IP, although it's a server that's being attacked, and therefore it's being shut down by a DDoSer. So Ben specifically was targeted. Fortunately, it all worked out in the end. He's going to go through to the main event out of the LCQ this time. Maybe. He's down before the finish, so he's actually going to lose the win to Jack Haley, who tried to boot him over the line, it looks like. But now McLeod's trying to get things righted around. He's still spinning around there. He loses second and almost third. No, sorry, that was a lapper. So McLeod does end up going through. Callaway through the whoops one more time. And he will indeed stamp his ticket to the main event. So all tickets to the main events have been taken. Azarkowicz misses out. Stanley not going through, which is kind of a surprise. Ethan Parks was in a transfer spot at one point. He's not going through. Tanner Halverson, Michael Wheeler, and Trevor Doiron. So it's a little bit of poetic justice this time around for McLeod, who will go to the main event, but he's got a way outside gate pick as opposed to the number 1 gate pick he would have had if the DDoSers did not attack him when he was winning the heat race. Kentucky Wild 247. Yeah, the only tips that we have is you know, slower is faster. Don't try to ride too hard, which it looks like Jake Rose just mentioned in chat. And the racing in this game, you can go to racefactorgaming.com. There's always racing series being ran through there. Of course, the official replica series that are ran through there, but this series as well, and the SX Madness series are ran through racefactorgaming.com. MXSEMF.com has several hosted events and the official MXSGP series, so you can also go there. And there's a lot of different hosting sites like MXS Races. I think Sim Races is still around. MXS Events, MXS Lobby, I believe, is a site still. And they all host different series, so you can check out those different places and sign up for a race if you want. But yeah, our best advice is to try to pick up the game and actually learn it before racing. But if you feel like you're comfortable enough racing against other players, then yeah, give it a go. I don't know who's asking how my track is still daytime, but it's clearly not. This is the night sky. So we're now waiting for mains to be built. So I'll go ahead and rip around the track a little bit while we're waiting for the main events. Or, you know, crash, whatever. Why are your tough blocks blue? What do you... I think I saw you guys mention that before. Are you talking about this section with the versus PC bales over here? This one right here? Is this section the one you're talking about, or... nah? What do you guys mean? I don't know what you're talking about. Because the FAM ones, I believe, are white. My bales, the SYS bales, are black with the little white and red. Obviously, the Race Tech ones have always been blue, so I don't... Okay, so yeah, the Versus ones are apparently red. The only thing I can think of... You guys might be salty, but I'm not racing, so I don't give a two shits about it. I had this track early. I may have a different objects pack, and just somehow it works. But those have always been blue in every test that I've done on this track. Next race should be anywhere in between right now and a couple minutes. And it is the Open Amateur main event, which will go 12 laps. I believe they have a warm-up lap. So we're just waiting on that right now, and I'm apparently explaining why I have bales that aren't correct. Teach photo saying they're purple to him. Hopefully Todd's enjoying a lovely taco or perhaps a burrito. It is Taco Tuesday. Everybody's favorite Mexican, Todd Gutierrez. Monster Gaming's own Todd Gutierrez, for that matter. Let's see if I can find any big transfers to hit, eh? Ooh, I see one. I see one that I can try. No, that's shit. What am I doing? Landing in that thing, apparently. Oh, I don't know. Do the big boy line in this section. Nope, can't do it. Too shit at this game. Up, Todd just ate a quesadilla. That's what I'm talking about. Scott McCracken says he's not my favorite Mexican. Well, then apparently you guys are hanging out in the wrong Discord chat because you're always hanging out with him, buddy. So if he's not your favorite Mexican, I don't know who is. But you better hang out in his Discord chat then. Oh, wheel tap the shit out of that tabletop. Hey, there we go. We got amateur main event coming up. So this is the warm-up lap for the Open Amateur main event, and let's take you guys through the field right now. We have got Robert Pink, Dale Mullins, Jay Jones, Jeremy Atkinson, Jason Felke, Tim Althouse, Kevin Gonzalez, Chris Santino, Alex Stinson, Eric Martin, Ricky Williams, Kevin Davis, Chris Schmeider, Lee Bradley, Zach Fisher, Nick Carvalho, Jay Jones. I'm already going over some people that I went through. See if I can find anybody else I haven't got already. I think Dale Mullins I didn't get. Kevin Gonzalez, Jace Baldwin. Let's see, Alan Brooks, I didn't mention his name. Josh Boaz is in this one. And that's it. I think I got everybody. If I didn't, I'm sorry. My favorite Mexican is the one on the other side of the wall. I'm sorry, that's too funny. Oh man, all I see is it's just Donald Trump's face when I read that statement. I know he was just kidding, the guy that mentioned that in chat, but man, that's too good. That's a good one. Yo, you know it's a good night though when my brother just walks into the room right now and drops some Chipotle in front of me. I'm trying to figure out what's in this bowl. Got some spicy salsa. We got some carnitas. Got some brown rice. Maybe, I think those are pinto beans. Got some lettuce. Gotta have guac in it all times. Sour cream. Oh, it's good. Oh yeah, well, we're doing a race here tonight. All right, first main event of the night, about set to go. Nick Carvalho broke the cardinal rule and won the warm-up lap. Forget exactly where that started, but basically, you win the warm-up lap, you're not going to do good in the main event. Usually that plays out to be true. When are you gonna do a race? All caps at the start of their words. Any second now, this race will be underway. Just waiting for the restart at this point. So I'm just gonna keep munching down on some Chipotles. I just got a text from pro racer Mike Strelo, who we saw make the main event earlier tonight. He says he is eating some taco salad. So intel from the pit lane tonight: Strelo, taco salad in the big rig. He's getting warmed up for that King of SX main event later. Right now, we're getting nice and warmed up to watch some serious amateur racing. Another one lap on the charts, though. Not sure what's going on here. This might be another warm-up lap, question mark? Trying to see what's going on. Open amateur main event lineup check. Okay, yeah. So another warm-up lap. Question in chat from Jaden Gates asked, have I raced at all this year? Yeah, I raced the Lights Night of the SX Madness series the first 2 weeks. Did not race it this past week for the Daytona race. But I finished 4th and 18th at Vegas and Phoenix respectively. And after that I gave up. Lives in SoCal, buys Chipotle. What do you want me to buy, Todd? What do you want me to buy? Where do you want me to go? Qdoba? That shit's disgusting. What do you want? I gotta have what's that taco place that you guys really like? Ah, I can't remember it. But whatever taco place Todd Gutierrez likes, it actually is mainly in Los Angeles. We don't have many of them in San Diego where I live. So he can be salty all he wants. I still like Chipotle. I think Chipotle is awesome. Aztec tacos? Shit is that? With a K? I mean, I don't like the San Diego State Aztecs as much as the other guy taught, but come on. With a K? With a K? I'm not going all the way to Temecula just to get some fucking tacos, bro. Damn, this Chipotle is spicy. Yeah, McGangbangs are pretty good. Those of you that don't know what a McGangbang is. I'm pretty sure you're talking about the one where it's a Big Mac and you stuff a chicken sandwich in it. Subway? You guys like Subway? We have pretty good local delicatessens in San Diego, though. Oh, we got another one-lapper on store. What are we doing here? Hey, I don't mind it. If we're just going to sit here and do one-lappers all night, I'll just keep munching down on my Chipotle. Now I don't know what you guys are talking about. Mayo is spicy, and then you say, what's a cheeky Nando? I put my meat in the chicken sandwich. Oh man, I love chat, dude. I love these live streams. They're too good. Cheeky Nando's with the lads? Is that like bangers and mash? I don't know what you guys are talking about right now. Anyway, we're finally, I think, set to go for the main event here in the Open Amateur Division at the Fall Cup. So let's go into business mode for a little bit and live stream this main event. As JLV has moonwalked his way up the track, we are set to go. Let's go racing amateur class style. Yep, Gayoo. It is the 986 of Chris Schmeider through the corner first. And he comes out with the whole shot ahead of Alex Stinson. But Schmeider gets it right back. With Chris Santino, Jeremy Atkinson, Jason Felke all in the mix. Chat's just going bananas right now over food. But Stinson takes over the lead. So Stinson on the 314 out front. Jason Felke now into the 2 spot. Those guys run 1-2 over Santino and Jay Jones. Jones, one of the heat race winners from earlier tonight, running the wrong bike still. But no big deal. Stinson is running away early, though. Santino's trying to stick with him. This is a 12-lap race, so these guys can settle in a little bit. It is the amateur class, so not to throw any of these guys under the bus, but we might see some crashing. I'm just going to throw that out there. There's going to be some crashing, I think. Can we get some first-person action in this race? You bet. Let's see. We got some hardcore battle. Let's go on board with Jay Jones here on the 75. He's going to try to pass Felke over the Supercross triple. Can we get a dualies? Nope, Felke gets sideways, but Jay Jones boner airs and then tries for the takeout, but Felke is too wise to that. He cuts back under. Now Jay Jones is going for a little monster truck off the course excursion, so Felke is going to try to run down Santino or slide out. So Schmeider is going to try to run down Santino or jump off the track. Felke down the inside while we have a side-by-side through here. Oh boy, Felke's closing in. Oh, he's jumping on the back of him, and he's down. Schmeider not even fazed by it. Schmeider was the Ryan Morris in that Trey Kennard sandwich, but he just rode out of it, no problemo. And moved into second as Santino just went over the berm. Enough of the first person, I'm getting dizzy. So Schmeider is 7.2 seconds behind Alex Stinson here. And he's running in the 2 spot. Got Jay Jones trying to run behind him in 3rd. Kyle Scott in 4th. Alan Brooks battled out with Felke for 5th. So Felke sits 6th. Santino 7th. Ricky Williams in 8th. Jeremy Atkinson in 9th. Josh Boaz, rounds out the top 10 early. Oh, we got a rider down. That is Alan Brooks. He's going to get passed by a couple guys. He already was passed by one rider. He goes back to the 8th spot, I believe. Some more riders down as Ricky Williams and I can't tell who that was. Somebody. Chris Santino must have been kind of all out of shape in there. So Alan Brooks goes back to 6th now, ahead of Ricky Williams. Felke getting all kinds out of shape, exiting this corner here. Kyle Scott runs in 4th. Schmeider down in 3rd. Jay Jones is 2nd, and Stinson's off the track in 1st, but Schmeider's losing the 3 spot to Kyle Scott right there. So Schmeider has a Felke right behind him now. Both pretty far behind the race leader at this point, but a lot could still happen. We're about a 1/3 of the way through the main event so far. This main event will go by quickly. These guys at the front of the field at least running pretty solid lap times for an amateur class, so they know what they're doing. Just got to keep it on 2 wheels and they'll be getting it all the way through to the end, no problem. Who would have known? Everybody would be talking about food in the chat room right now, but oh, Felke is going to go around Schmeider, who just hit the deck. And then Felke got hung up in that corner a little bit, but he's coming out just fine. He's trying to run down Kyle Scott, who sits all alone in 3rd. And we got a change for the lead up front. Jay Jones is taking it away from Alex Stinson. So just like that, I've already missed 1 change for the lead. Let's see how many we'll miss tonight. Maybe I'll put a counter up on the YouTube video. Yeah, I know I'm responsible for starting it. My bro brought in some Chipotle. Too good to be true. Oh, Jay Jones in the bales. Making a couple mistakes. Of course the stream would crash. Stream has crashed. We're waiting for it to come back. Jay Jones is leading. Alex Stinton's all alone in 2nd. Kyle Scott running in the 3 spot. Jason Felke is running in the 4 spot. Josh Boaz is running in the 5 spot. Oh, hi. Nice to see you again. Good that you could rejoin us after the stream has finally come back. Jones is running away with this right now, though. Alex Stinson has not been able to keep pace on his 350. And Kyle Scott's all alone in 3rd. Felke is 4th. Boaz is 5th. Brooks is 6th. Gonzalez is trying to run down. Brooks in 7th, but he's down at the end of the whoops. So Cunningham is going to go by, it looks like. Yes, he will. And Gonzalez gets going in front of Robert Pink, but behind Jeremy Atkinson. Oh, major roast in chat. Scott McCracken trying to say he's fast enough to come race this again. We'll leave that to be seen. Chris Riesenberg comes back with the fact that the only thing he's penciling in tonight is how small his dick is. Yeah. Loving the roasting. And Jay Jones is down with the lead, and Stinson has got it back. So Stinson out front. Jones is going to try to run him down, but he just got ruined by a lapper. 285. Who is that? And he's got Kyle Scott behind him now, so we'll do some more first-person cam in here and see what we got. You can see Jay Jones right in front of Kyle Scott there. He's actually getting away a little bit now. Scott making a few mistakes. Oh, and then Jones must have went down, so now he's behind Kyle Scott. Now he's going to try to go back after him. He's got a better line through here. Gonna stay a little bit lower and triple into the corner. Ends up on the outside. Scott's going to go down the inside and double in. And that's a worse line to take as Jones gets the pass and away he goes. So Stinson's all alone out front, lap 8 of 12. Can Kyle Scott or Jay Jones run him down? Oh, Felke is down in 4th, or not, okay. That sure as heck looked like a fall-off crash, but it wasn't. So solid ride for Felke right now. He's got to watch out for Josh Boaz trying to close in from the 5 spot. Robert Pink is 6th. Kevin Gonzalez 7th. Alan Brooks is 8th, but not for long as he just got passed. Or not. Who's that? There's a lapper in between them. Oh, and then Gonzalez goes down, but Alan Brooks is getting just destroyed by this lapper. Who is this lapper right now? Zach Fisher not moving for the leaders. Caused Alan Brooks a few spots there. So Stinson still leads, Scott's still 2nd, Jones still 3rd, and kind of trying to look for some battles here. Dale Mullins behind Nick Carvalho. This is for 8th, I believe. And Mullins actually has Atkinson right behind him. So this is a good close battle. Atkinson right behind Mullins. Can Atkinson do anything about Mullins? This is actually 8th and 9th on your screen right now. Mullins and Atkinson. As a military-grade helicopter comes over my house and rumbles the windows to no end. Benefits of living right next to a Marine Corps base. So Mullins able to get away for now. He's trying to run down Carvalho, so all 3 of these guys are pretty close. Atkinson looks like he's a little bit closer to Mullins than Mullins is to Carvalho, but they're still pretty evenly spread out for the most part. Oh, Atkinson with a mistake. And here comes Mullins on the outside of Carvalho, and he gets the spot. So it paid off to watch that. And behind them, Cunningham got around Jeremy Atkinson too, as Schmeider's trying to come into the mix as well. Oh, Boaz has got around Kyle Scott, who was 2nd, so it all changed now. Stinson is ahead of Jones, then Felke has moved into the 3 spot. Boaz is in 4th, and Scott has gone back to 5th. And Boaz himself is trying to run down Felke, who's in a mess of people, and Boaz gets the spot. Felke ends up getting a little bit of trouble there with some lap traffic, and he might lose another spot to Kyle. Kyle Scott goes through. Yes, he does. Do a face cam? Oh, Boaz upside down on the outside there from, I forget who we decided that was. Whoa, that's Zach Fisher, that's right. And Kyle Scott and Felke are going back and forth in the positions race here. Felke, another mistake. Josh Boaz is going to try to close in. Speaking of face cams, I do actually do face cams for our F1 series, so if you go to YouTube and watch our Formula 1 video series, I do face cam videos. Yeah, I got you, Husey. I'll watch, shit, I already forgot who you're talking about to watch. Oh, you! Duh! You're gonna watch Jonathan Hughes on the start in the Prince of SX class. White flag in the air for Alex Stinson. Oh, Scott is down, and Felke goes back through into the 3 spot. And there is Robert Pink. Where did he come from with Josh Boaz getting blocked past? Oh, man! Kyle Scott just lit up Zach Fisher, who's kind of been in that mix all night at the front. Meanwhile, Alex Stinson's making some mistakes. This isn't over, folks. Here comes Jay Jones. Oh, man. Could Jones get there? Less than half a lap to go. Stinson and Jones. This is close. Coming down for the win of the Amateur Open class. 3 seconds is the gap, but that's not a lot when it comes to this amateur division. Stinson's just trying to ride smooth. He jumps down into the gaps. Oh, Jay Jones blew it over the berm in the background there. So Stinson's just got to get through the whoops. Can he make it? Just jumping his way through, and here it is. Alex Stinson, Keystone Racing Zone, wins the Open Amateur main event at the opening round of the Fall Cup. Oh, and Jones gets put on the deck by a lapper. That was interesting. Hey, I think this is a great stream tonight. I don't care what you say. Internet problems or not, this has been awesome. Someone giving us a full recap as Felke finishes in 3rd. Boaz ends up 4th ahead of Kyle Scott, so Scott had some issues of his own. And Robert Pink blitzing through the whips behind him is trying to get things close, but he's not going to get there. Scott 5th, Robert Pink in 6th. Dale Mullins is 7th, and Carvalho is 8th. Here comes Atkinson. This isn't over here for the 8th spot. Oh, Carvalho stands it up. Oh, Atkinson into the back of him. So Carvalho has some breathing room now. Oh, Mullins is off the track, though. And still... Oh, he's down in the whoops. Here comes Carvalho. And Carvalho just makes it through the whoops, so he's going to get the 7th spot in the end of it. Mullins hangs on for 8th. Atkinson will cross in 9th, and cuts are in. Gonzalez was 10th, and the top... runners stayed the same, so Alex Stinson wins the main event here. Open Amateur class. Race number 1 of the Fall Cup at the Sandlot. Chris says the stream has sucked. Besides for beer and Chipotle. True story. Beer and Chipotle is pretty good. Not going to argue with that. I think you guys underestimate how easy it is to get me drunk. My friends don't call me K2B, Kellen 2 Beers, for nothing. All right, on the line should be warm-up lap for the Prince of SX class, which is going to go 15 laps. And on the line for this, we have Matthias Janis, Cody Branson, Jack Zaris, Hunter Deischer, Bryce Whelan, Walter Gebhardt, Tanner Rogers, James Schuler, Devin Ryan, Jeff Cooper, Dylan Copeland, Fred Heather, Jared Gaskew, John Rollins, Craig Leak, Jake Rose. Yeah, James Armstrong. Jesus Christ, I don't have the hiccups. I better not. Dylan Copeland, so across. Tanner Rogers. Oh, I swear if I have the hiccups. Fred Heather, Craig Leak, Eric Thorpe, Colton Mitchell. I think that's everybody. Did I miss anybody? I'm trying to see. Have I not said a name in here? No, looks like I got everybody. Oh, shut up, Todd. Seeing me drunk in person is not pretty. When have you ever seen me drunker than Nate in person at the same time? Freaking Todd. Coming in here with his Mexican logic. I'm gonna suffocate. Well, hopefully I'll see some great racing before I suffocate tonight, eh, boys? Alright, let's see who we can watch on the inside of the gate here. Derek Thorpe's right in the middle. Why not? On the 30 there. Speaking of 30, there goes the 32nd car. JLV has moonwalked his way off the track. It's time for the Prince of SX class at the opening round of the Fall Cup. And we are underway. And a good start. 256 is Gaskew down the inside. And he is not going to get the whole shot. Instead, it's James Armstrong with the whole shot. So Armstrong from Wilson and Copeland at the front. And I also see Jack Zars in the mix there with, I think that's Jeff Cooper on the two-stroke in the background. And Colton Mitchell's up front, but it's all James Armstrong. Armstrong, the last 3 main races he's competed in. A second at the open class at the Daytona Shootout. A second in the lights class at the Daytona Shootout. So can he finally break through for a dang win here tonight? Got the start. He's got to hold off a hard-charging Dylan Copeland and the rest of the field. So things are settling down pretty quickly as Armstrong is leading his way through in the whoops, and he's down. Copeland is gonna make it through and take over the lead. Wilson gets stood up in the corner as Mitchell comes flying through. That was aggressive to say the least. Behind them, Craig Leak and Robert Wilson get together. Robert Wilson cross-jump Carl in the finish line jump. I've been on the receiving end of that before. Not too fun. Copeland leading though, and Mitchell is a charging. Let's go on board with the number 10 machine here for a moment. And let's just listen in. And just like that, Colton Mitchell has taken over the lead from Dylan Copeland. Copeland made a couple mistakes there. Mitchell's now out front. And if it's any indication how he came through the field in his heat race, that might be the last the field sees of Colton Mitchell. So can Copeland keep pace? Gaskew now in the 3 spot with Craig Leak in 4th. Oh, Leak tried to go for the quad and he is down. So Gaskew is going to get away. Jack Zars out here in front of Jake Rose. And I couldn't see who that was. Tanner Rogers. And actually that's Robert Wilson in the mix. Oh, that was Tanner Rogers hitting the deck. Fred Heather going through, Walter Gebhardt, Matthias Janis, and Hunter Deischer. So things changing all around. Oh, Craig Leak almost getting into Wilson. Dooley's on the triple, and Leak's got the better line here inside, but he blows it over the rut. And Heather goes through, Gebhardt goes through. Now Leak finally gets going. Oh, Fred Heather got into the back of Gebhardt there. He got hung up in the corner. Colton Mitchell pulling away. Gaskew has Copeland closing in. Let's go on board with Copeland here for a minute. So Copeland can see Gaskew in front of him. Gaskew jumps off the track. So Copeland can see that he's making mistakes. Can he capitalize on it at all? He's right behind him. And there goes the stream. What else is new? There she blows. The internet has thus gone us out the window. Es magnifique. Either way, those of you on YouTube, you're getting some exclusive content right now, you know. And Dylan Copeland is trying to run down Jarrett Gaskew. Almost said Garrett Jaskew. I'm sure he's had that said to him a few times. Oh, Copeland with a slide on, and he's in the bales. So he's lost some time to Gaskew. Meanwhile, Jake Rose is in 4th, trying to run him down. Jack Zars is in 5th, having a great race right now. Robert Wilson. Hunter Deischer has Matthias Janus right behind him. Let's focus on this battle for a second for 7th. Janus able to keep him close even though he missed that rhythm section. Deischer is kind of getting away, but it's still fairly close. Oh man, I love chat. I think it's my favorite thing about streaming is chat. You guys are too funny. But to the point of this race, how about this battle between Janus and Deischer? This is still very close, even though Deischer had pulled it away for a little bit. Janus is keeping it close. Might have got the whoops a little bit cleaner there, actually. Let's go on board with Janus for that matter. Just ran his personal best lap of the race at a 109.1. They're on lap 6 of 15. And Deischer makes a mistake, and Janus jumps onto him. And that, my friends, is what a yard sale looks like. So Craig Leake was able to get through and find himself in 8th now. Janus got up in 9th, and Armstrong is 10th after leading early on. Fred Heather back in 11th, Devin Ryan in 12th, Walter Gebhardt 13th, Tanner Rogers is 14th with Jeff Cooper 15th, Derek Thorpe in 16th, James Schuler 17th, Bryce Whelan 18th, John Rollins is in 19th, Zoacross is 20th, Branson is 21st, and Jonathan Hughes has rage quit. I forgot to look at Hughes on the start, and he is out of the race, dead last, not going to pick up any points tonight. But up front, it is all Colton Mitchell by 14 seconds over Jarrett Gaskew. A Gaskew I personally have never seen. I've never seen Gaskew ride this good before. Very impressed right now. He's doing a fantastic job in second. Oh, and as I say that, he's over the bars. So Copeland moves into second, and he's over the bars. What's going to happen next? Jake Rose is in second now. And Copeland gets up behind Gaskew, who has Jack Zars right behind him. Jack Zars, those of you that don't know, had a massive points lead in the Pro-Am division in the open class of the SX Madness Series. Won the first 2 rounds and then missed the 3rd round. And we mentioned then that it's kind of crazy that he hasn't moved up already. Look at this guy right now in the Prince of SX class going for 2nd, and he gets it as Gaskew gets hung up behind a lapper. And now he almost gets into the back of Zars there. Jack Zars is here to play and here to stay. Look at him coming through the field into the 2 spot now. Or I'm sorry, the 3 spot as Jake Rose has moved up to 2nd. Look at him go, trying to keep Zoe Cross a lap down, and Gaskew's trying to keep things close. Gaskew's about to have some pressure from Dylan Copeland. I almost said Kevin Frzaka, but Frzaka's in the King of SX class later on tonight. So Zars has third all to himself as Gaskew narrowly avoids Zoa Cross going down. Dylan Copeland does not avoid him, gets into the back of him. Craig Leak is coming, by the way. 2 bad starts tonight by Craig Leak. His heat race got a terrible start, ended up finishing 4th. Main event, not a great start either, and look at him charging through the field, working on closing in for a top 5 here on Dylan Copeland right now. Never can count out that sneaky Craig Leak. Did great outdoors, finished 3rd overall in the 250 class behind Jared Seidhoff and Dade Honeywell. Earned that number 11. And I think it's here to stay at the front of the field. As long as he can get good starts, he'll win races next year. Just needs the starts. He's going after Copeland, who just, wow. Oh, I was going to say, how did he ride out of that? He was full-blown 6 o'clock endoing right there. Meanwhile, Colt Mitchell is untouchable tonight. He is so far out in front, it's not even funny. On the lap 10 of 15 and just weaving through lap traffic like it's nobody's business. Talking about Colt Mitchell earning the 11. How about Colt Mitchell earning that big number 10 on his bike this year? He's going to do some damage himself. I'll tell you what. So Jake Rose kind of all by himself in second. Jack Zars is keeping him honest. Then Gaskew is in 4th, Craig Leak in 5th. Actually, let's go ahead and do a lap through the field while we're at it. Let's see if I can find a good spot for that. Trying to think of where I have a head-on view of the riders. Oh, I know where. So we'll take a look at Mitchell here until he gets to that spot. And we'll do a little 1.5 minute or so lap through the field until we get back to Mitchell. But man, Mitchell's just making it look way too easy at the front right now. Smooth as butter at the front. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of a lap through the field here as Mitchell comes through. And second place should be Jake Rose, 31 seconds behind. I haven't even seen him go the other way, actually. Let's see if I can see him. That's him right there, going the other way on the track. See runners going through. There's Branson and somebody jumping off the screen, Jeff Cooper. Now coming through is Derek Thorpe. That is 523 of Schuler. Here is second place, Jake Rose, 30 plus seconds behind your race leader, Cole Mitchell. Third place, Jack Zars right here. And that's another lapper right there. Oh, as Zars goes down, he's going to lose that spot to Craig Leak. As Zars just gets going, so Zars is now back to 4th. This should be 5th. Devin Ryan, I believe, is in 5th. Or Robert Wilson, sorry. Robert Wilson in 5th. Tanner Rogers in 6th. Gaskew in 7th. Deisher just went through there in 8th. Copeland 9th. And then your race leader, Colton Mitchell, about to lap Dylan Copeland in 9th. So that's pretty insane how far Mitchell's got through the field there. We got a rider down in front of Mitchell, but no biggie. He is so far out in front. Doesn't really matter at this point, but here's that change for position that we mentioned when we were doing the lap through the field there. Craig Leak has gotten around Jack Zars for the final podium spot here at the opening round. Oh, we got some guys down. Leak jumps through them, and he's going to end up right on the back wheel of Jake Rose. Rose is trying to keep a hard charging Craig Leak behind him here. But he may not have a say in it. Leak has been coming through the field for a long while, and he is flying through the field. In fact, let's go on board with Leak. 106.1 versus a 107.4 for the best lap time. Look at how close it is. Got his tire right in his face over the finish line jump. And you can see Jake Rose is a little bit off the track there, but hangs on to it. They both elect to go inside in this corner. Got a rider coming back the other way on the other side of the track there, almost hitting them. So Leak is just looking for any way that he can to get around him, and he's going to come up a little bit short here and lose some time. Got some riders down. They weave through them, no problem. Meanwhile, lap 14 is already underway for Colton Mitchell in the race lead. Oh, Rose goes down, so Leak moves into the 3 spot. Here comes Jack Zars. Leak moved into the 2 spot. Jack Zars is going to move into the 3 spot as Rose just finally gets going. Robert Wilson is still 5th with Gasky right behind him in 6th and Tanner Rogers right behind him in 7th. This is a close battle for the 5 spot. Got basically a 3-rider train. They're not that close to each other, but Rogers is right behind Gasky for 6th. Oh, and Rogers has got a great drive through the whoops, but Gasky cuts the line off. They are almost about to be lapped. Oh, Rogers off the side of the track into the opposite lane of traffic, and he is down. Gasky has it all to himself now. White flag out for Rogers out front as Matthias Janis in, I believe, well, actually now Tanner Rogers has been lapped too, and he's in front of Matthias Janis. Tanner Rogers is in 7th place and has been lapped. Just let that soak in for a second. That's how much Colton Mitchell has dominated this main event. I said at the beginning when he took the lead, he very well could just run away with it from here. And run away with it he did. He is so far out in front, it's not even funny at this point. Look at the ticker at the top of the screen, 42.9 seconds ahead of Craig Leak. And we already mentioned he put 7th a lap down. 6th, Gaskew is not too far in front of him at this point. He's on the Kawasaki, just going out of your screen to the left there. But I don't think Mitchell will get to him. I don't think Gaskew will let him get around him anyway. Rollins is trying to get his lap back for the time being. He's just going to let him go. Mitchell, in front of Armstrong there, is going to bring it down though. And the opening round of the Prince of SX Series and the FAMmx Fall Cup goes to Colton Mitchell, number 10, as he wins the opening main event of the 3-round series. And despite having one of the biggest leads that we may see in a main event this series, he's only going to get 3 more points to show for it over Craig Leak in the end. So Leak and his charge through to 2nd may have salvaged a potential championship chase tonight. As long as he can hang on here, he will finish in that 2 spot in front of Jack Zars. And in the end, Leak will hang on to that, no problem. Jack Zars has Bryce Whelan giving him some pressure, but Whelan's a lap down. And Jack Zars ends up on the podium. Wow, what a great ride for Zars. See him all the time in the Pro-Am class. We might see a lot more of him in the Pro class. Here comes Jake Rose to finish 4th. Behind him, Robert Wilson finishes in 5th. And Gaskew going for it in the last corner will end up 6th because James Armstrong finished a lap down, as did Hunter Deischer, Dylan Copeland, and Matthias Janis inside of the top 10. So we'll wait for cuts to come through. See where these guys end up. Excuse me. Cuts are in. Top 10 stayed the exact same. So it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for the last race of the night. The King of SX class coming up here in just a second. And hopefully my internet doesn't crash right now. Please don't crash right now. Level out. Level out. Oh, it's trying. Oh, it just might hang on. Beautiful. Yeah, I'll update you guys on what exactly happened with the DDoS attacks when our next episode of Track Walks comes out. We might have one come out on Thursday. At the moment, that's when it would come out. We might have one come out tomorrow. I already recorded one today, so you wouldn't know about the DDoSers, but, you know, you get the point. All right, who's in this main event tonight? We have got Casey Oler, Mike Strelo, Blake O'Brien, William St. Laurent, Jeremy Shipley, Ben McLeod, Andrew O'Hagan, Josh Williams, Daniel Mills, Jesse Mullins, Jake West, Jordan Vanderlee, Kevin Verzaka, Jared Seidhoff, Alex Heckman, Reed Young, Evan DeLesdernier, Jesse Calloway, Jack Haley, Dennis Fielberg, Tyler Schmidt. And that is it. And that is those guys heading out for a warm-up lap right now. So they are on a warm-up lap. How many people we got watching the stream right now? I don't actually have the stream window open. I just have the chat window, so I don't know how many people are watching. But judging by the chat, we still have a good attendance, which is nice to see. It's this late into the evening, almost midnight on the East Coast, so cool to see here. $14 viewers. Sick. Yeah, I'm reeling in the views. This is one long live stream tonight. This is almost going to be 3 hours before the end of it. All right, looks like the restart has been called, and we are just about set to go here. Only one main event left on the night, and it is the final race of the night at the FAMmx Fall Cup. I saw Tyler Schmidt get a good start on the inside last time. Let's see what he does right now as we are underway. He gets a pretty good jump. He's going to try to shut everybody off. He gets a good start down the inside, and it is Tyler Schmidt over the line first. He takes the whole shot, but watch out on the outside. There's some contact that looked like it was between maybe the 31 machine of, I don't want to say that's for Zaka because it's not, but I can't remember who that is exactly. Schmidt leads away from Shipley though, and O'Hagan, as McLeod was down in that first section with the number 31 machine. So let's see what these guys can do at the front. Schmidt, your 250 East Coast champion this year, already losing the lead, as there goes Shipley down the inside to take the lead. And might Shipley just run away with this thing tonight, as, oh, Schmidt gets put on the ground. O'Hagan moves into the 2 spot. Here's St. Laurent around the outside with Reed Young, and then Schmidt getting up from his crash. Jesse Mullins is up front. Jared Seidhoff, Ben McLeod finally getting up from his crash early on. That was Daniel Mills that got connected with McLeod in the first rhythm section. I knew it wasn't for Zaka. Zaka's on the 61. McLeod a little out of shape at the exit of the whoops, but up front, Shipley is pulling away and pulling away quickly. I saw Andrew O'Hagan had blown second place. He went over the berm at the end of the long rhythm section at the back. So that moves St. Laurent into the 2 spot with Mullins trying to give chase in 3rd. Mullins' good buddy Tyler Schmidt runs in the 4 spot after the hole shot. So St. Laurent is trying to hold off the hard-charging Jesse Mullins. Meanwhile, Shipley must have made a mistake. He's got all these guys right behind him. We got 4 riders together as Mullins gets into St. Laurent, and Schmidt goes back into the 2 spot by tripling over everybody. Makes a little mistake again. Oh, and somebody just got punted. Jesse Mullins got punted by Ben McLeod, who took the inside line away from him. So McLeod moves up to 4th. Meanwhile, Shipley is trying to regroup from that little mistake he made. He's already got 3 seconds over Schmidt. Oh, Schmidt finds himself on top of the berm there. McLeod already up to 3rd. McLeod means business tonight after going through that DDoS attack earlier this evening. He's trying to come through and win this main event. Right out of the LCQ, finished 3rd in the LCQ for that matter. It's got to go through Tyler Schmidt to do it, though. And he's got to go through one of the best riders in the game, Jeremy Shipley. But Schmidt, no slouch in his own right. These guys are all losing touch with St. Laurent, Reed Young, everybody else behind them. So let's pay attention to McLeod right now. We'll go on board with the number 59 machine. Staying a little lower. Almost cost him some time though as he came up a little bit short on that triple in. I mean, look at how fast these guys are clicking out the laps. So McLeod down the inside of Schmidt, got a great drive in the whoops, and he'll take that spot no problem. Schmidt cuts back underneath and collects him, puts him on the ground. Schmidt was not having any of it. 106.6 for Schmidt. McLeod over the line at a 108.3. Lost a big chunk of time. And McLeod has to go back to work to catch those guys now. Schmidt needs a little bit more business than I would have thought tonight, though. Usually he comes to these races and just tries to get the best finish he can possibly get. I think he wants to go after Shipley for the win when all is said and done, and he does not want McLeod doing anything to him there. So Schmidt still in second for the time being. McLeod going to try to remount an attack here. And meanwhile, I've got to keep an eye on William St. Laurent closing in from the 4th spot. He's not out of this discussion either if these guys get together again. Got a 9.5 second lead right now for Jeremy Shipley at the front. On to lap number 5. As soon as he puts this lap behind him, we'll be a quarter of the way through the main event. So we are a long way from the finish. McLeod has Schmidt in his eyesights. He's trying to close in on him. Maybe some payback in order here too. I think it was a racing move that Schmidt did there, cutting down out of the corner, but McLeod may not take it that way. McLeod known to race aggressively anyway. What has he got? He's closing right in. Schmidt continues to make some mistakes on that wall jump and cases the triple in the process, and he's got McLeod right on his back door now. This is really tight. McLeod's pulling alongside in the rhythm section, down the inside into the corner. Schmidt off the side of the track, and McLeod takes the spot. Schmidt's going to get the triple in. No, he will not. He comes up short. So McLeod gets away scot-free there. And into the 2 ride. So can he catch Jeremy Shipley at the front? That is the question that we are going to find an answer to in the next 14 laps. McLeod, one of the fastest riders all night long. It doesn't matter, but track position belongs to Shipley at the moment. About 14 seconds clear of McLeod, only 6 laps in. McLeod is charging his last lap time, 105.5 to Shipley's 104.2. So Shipley actually the fastest rider on the track last time. Let's actually go on board with Shipley for a little bit, see what he's doing differently maybe. He's closing in on some lappers really quickly too. Another 104.8. Shipley is really smooth right now. This is the old Shipley here. This is the get out front, get a lead, and away he goes, Shipley. See if McLeod. Well, McLeod went down and gave the spot back to Schmidt. St. Laurent is now right behind McLeod. Josh Williams is coming up from 5th. O'Hagan is back in the 6th spot. Strelo running in 7th. Told you earlier tonight he was having some taco salad in his big rig. He's got Jack Haley breathing down his neck right now. Haley makes a mistake and he is down in between the finish line jump. So Mullins goes through. Jake West also goes through. Jesse Calloway is now going to be right behind Jack Haley with Jordan Vanderlee trying to sneak his way in. Reed Young, Evan Delesdernier, Izzy Ollert, Blake O'Brien, Alex Heckman, one of your heat winners tonight, is having a rough go of it in the main event. I believe this is 17th, 18th behind for Zach actually, who just went over the berm. So no bueno for Heckman. Here is McLeod versus Schmidt again, volume 3. Schmidt put him on the ground the first time, more or less due to a racing incident. McLeod with a nice move down the inside last time with Schmidt jumping off the track, made a nice move. So can McLeod get around him again, and what does he have in store for Schmidt this time? Over the Supercross triple we go. McLeod's going to scrub it down and think better of it, not cut to the inside yet. They're about to lap Alex Heckman. Oh boy, that is close as my internet just takes a dump again. Should be coming back any second now. And Schmidt dumped it. Went down after the Dragon's back, so St. Laurent gets through. Ben McLeod now back into the 2 spot. I don't think that anybody's going to catch Shipley at this point. We're not even halfway through, and Shipley has got a enormous lead already. It's like 8th and 9th are pretty close. Jack Haley and Jake West. Jesse Mullins in 10th, trying to keep things close. Thought Mullins might have a chance to win this race tonight, but some unfortunate luck early on. A T-bone by Ben McLeod, and back here he finds himself. Gets around Jake West now for 9th. Matches number. Strelo running a quiet race in 7th, trying to run down Josh Williams. O'Hagan is now in the 5 spot. He got around Williams, so Williams must have gone down. O'Hagan nailing a quad in the middle of that rhythm there. Oh, we got some chaos going on here. Schmidt's trying to run down St. Laurent, and 237 Blake O'Brien blows the inside rut. So Schmidt trying to get St. Laurent here for 3rd, the final spot on the podium. And if McLeod makes another mistake, they'll be right on him as well. Really close battling. Look at that. Nice scrub there by St. Laurent down the left side of the track to keep Schmidt at bay for the time being. But Schmidt is all over his back door just trying to find a way through. They both nailed the triple quad, and now they're almost side by side going into this section here. Schmidt down the inside into this corner, not quite there with the angle, almost gets into the back of him. Oh, we got some more dualies over the triple, and Schmidt decides he's going to take a different line, but this line a little bit slower. And he's going to lose some time. Almost actually goes down in the process. And not able to get the main rhythm through here either, so he's losing more and more time as McLeod is trying to get through lappers. Meanwhile, Jeremy Shipley has a, let's see, 27-second lead. Still just consistently running 104s, no big deal. So at this point, nobody's going to catch Shipley. Jesse Mullins, though, might catch Jack Haley for 7th. Keep an eye on this battle here for a minute. Mullins in the 105, so lap time-wise, not too far off of Shipley, but needed a start to prove that he was worth running up front. Got that start and was crashed back into the deep depths of mid-pack range, and Jack Haley just made a mistake, so Mullins should get him here. Yes, he does. He got another spot in the meantime. O'Hagan has gone down. Look at that. That's Jeremy Shipley right in front of O'Hagan right there, already lapping 9th halfway through the main event. So Mullins now is going to try to run down Mike Strelo here, who's in 6th. Josh Williams is in 5th, and Schmidt, oh, good time to go back to that. He just got around William St. Laurent. He's a long ways back on McLeod at this point, about 14, 15 seconds, I'd say. So Schmidt has to deal with St. Laurent trying to close back in on him right now. St. Laurent obviously wants to go back after him and try to get that position away. Working lap 13 of 20. These guys are actually on lap 12. That's just how far ahead of the field that Mr. Jeremy Shipley is, as my internet times out again. Hopefully the last commercial break of the night for these guys. Doesn't look like chat's too far spied anyway. They are having a good time talking to each other. Which is fine, you know. Hanging out, having a good chat, why not? I think St. Laurent has something more to say about this Schmidt versus St. Laurent battle. He's got the number 94 squared up right in front of him. Can he do anything about him is the question. He's right there. Might show him a wheel or two when he can. He's got a pretty smooth line through there. Schmidt matching his lines, but a little bit more out of shape, I'd say. St. Laurent looks like he's carrying his momentum very well in and out of the corners. First gear through the whoops. Schmidt right now able to hold him at bay, which is a solid effort on Schmidt's part. We got a rider going backwards on the track in front of them. I can't quite see who that is right there. That is no idea who that was. That was very interesting. 72 of Callaway. Oh, this battle is close. Schmidt and St. Laurent almost came undone. Schmidt thought better of it. Now let's see on board from Schmidt's perspective. This is interesting. See how close he is here with St. Laurent, and he continues to launch off that wall. If only he knew what the brakes were. So can Schmidt remount and attack? It looks like he was a little bit faster his last couple laps through, but that mistake has just cost him the 3rd spot. Oh, getting out of shape in the whoops. Good save. Got a good line over the finish line. He's going to carry some speed. He's going to pull alongside St. Laurent if he gets the quad. Into the corner, almost contact, and he's just right on his rear fender there. That was some close racing, great battling, and some more dualies as Laurent gets just upside down damn near on the triple. Good line for Schmidt, but does not go for the quad. St. Laurent does get it. They're still so close. Nobody wanted to give an inch. Trying to see if I see McLeod. Yeah, I just saw him actually go the other way. So these guys are sort of catching McLeod at the moment. They're losing time on Shipley each lap, though, because Shipley keeps running those 104s. For that matter, Shipley might have already lapped up into the 6th or so. This battle is so good, I just can't stop watching it. It's crazy to see how good these pro riders are, especially through the whoops. Oh my goodness, what a good save there. Schmidt almost went down. St. Laurent in front of him also had a mistake. Here's Schmidt again. He's going to get another great drive out of this corner. He's trying to end up alongside, but he just can't get it done. So St. Laurent hangs on as we go over the triple once again. This is just lap after lap battling. These guys right behind each other. And Schmidt's got another great drive, and St. Laurent comes up short. Schmidt's going to go outside. St. Laurent just puts it in on him, and they're both down. Schmidt looks like he's going to get up first, and St. Laurent is all kind of out of shape back here. So finally, after many consecutive laps of those guys going toe-to-toe, Schmidt comes out as the benefactor. They've lost some time to McLeod in the process. But wow, that was intense. That was so close for so long. Up front, Shipley has just put Jesse Mullins, by the looks of it, a lap down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is Jesse Mullins. And so that means that Shipley is about to lap 5th Josh Williams. You can see Shipley there in the background. Working lap 17 of 20. Williams obviously on 16, almost being a lap down. So Mullins is going to maybe try to use Shipley as a pick here. If he can stick with him, and when Shipley gets close to Josh Williams, obviously Williams will have to move out of the way. Blue flag rules. And Mullins might be right there to swoop it up. So Shipley about to put Josh Williams in 5th, a lap down. Only 4 runners about to be on the lead lap. And Williams kind of finally concedes that position over. And Mullins, like I said, finds himself right there. Was trying to do a little bit of a pick maneuver. End up right behind Shipley. And Shipley is just case triple, so he's going to hold up Williams even a little bit more there. So Mullins is right behind Williams for the 5 spot. Let's glance ahead. Williams St. Laurent is also not too far ahead of these guys. It's not out of the question that Shipley could lap all the way in front of Tyler Schmidt in 3rd, given where he is on the track. It could happen. He's got 2 laps to go. I'm very keen to watch this Mullins-Williams battle. This is a really good battle on track right now. Speaking of which, we'll go ahead and go back on board with Mullins as he's about to pull alongside Williams here. Coming up to the triple, and Williams goes down. Mullins stays on the bike. My internet just cut itself into bits once again. Why wouldn't it? There it goes. 2-lap board coming out for McLeod right now. Schmidt still in the 3 spot. St. Laurent is in 4th. And Shipley is only about 4 seconds behind St. Laurent. So this is going to be very close down to the end. Internet trying to come back before the white flag waves. Shipley trying to lap his way through basically the whole damn field for that matter. Shipley putting Callaway a lap down again. White flag in the air for Jeremy Shipley. And there is Schmidt for that matter. What happened? St. Laurent is now in front of Schmidt, and Shipley has gone by as you see him now in front. Look at all the riders. This is all lappers. And Schmidt gets absolutely destroyed by Jake West, who was a lap behind Schmidt. I don't know what that was all about. So Mullins goes into the 4 spot. He's not going to have a shot, I don't think, at St. Laurent, especially with Shipley in front of him, and Shipley not able to dispose of St. Laurent yet. So very interesting turn of events there. Tyler Schmidt was basically had third to himself. And I don't know if he crashed or what happened, but St. Laurent got it away from him, and then Jake West ruined Tyler Schmidt. But up front, Jeremy Shipley, untouchable all night long, finally laps third before the end, and Shipley wins the main event at the opening round of the King of SX Championship in the FAMmx Fall Cup. St. Laurent in third was a lap down. Are you kidding me? Jesse Mullins is trying to survive his way through here. He'll end up in the 4th spot before the end of this, and Williams has moved into 5th and will get it before the end. Schmidt, what a disaster of a last lap. He started this lap here in 3rd, ends up 6th over the line. Jake West was 2 laps down in 7th place. Here's the only other guy on the lead lap who will finish this race tonight. Ben McLeod ends up 2nd on the night, 36 seconds clear of Shipley by the end of it. Can't discredit that kind of a ride from McLeod, though, especially going through the DDoS attacks earlier in the night. Ended up having to go through the LCQ. Behind West was O'Hagan in 8th, Strelo in 9th, and Callaway in 10th. Evan Delesdernier in 11th, Ferzaka 12th. Alex Heckman able to slide his way into 13th, and he will stay there as Reed Young was a few laps down in 14th. Jordan Vanderlee 15th, Blake O'Brien 16th, Jack Haley 17th, Casey Ullert 18th, Daniel Mills 19th, Jared Seidhoff 20th, and Dennis Fjellberg didn't even start the race, so that must mean he fell asleep. Cuts are in, and everything stayed pretty much the same at the front. That's going to do it for us, folks. Thank you for joining us. 3 hours later, we are done at the FAMmx Fall Cup round number 1, presented by RaceFactoryGaming.com. Obviously, big shout out to FAMmx.com for sponsoring this series, and Race Factory Gaming for hosting. Us here at Start Your Systems, we were here for the stream for all of it, and Versus-BC.com for also pitching in for this series. Thanks everybody for joining us for the live stream here for round number 1. You can catch the live stream archive tomorrow on YouTube. And thanks everybody for joining us in chat. Kellen Brauer here on Start Your Systems TV. We'll see you guys the next time we're streaming or the next time we're in a video, but so long for now.